How about nobody else even flinches and runs away?
It's a pretty talented dance team that they would just stand still like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been looking to get hit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Limp out of there.
Then she moves back to her spot. I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
It does look like a lightning strike.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy video. Like she's getting shot by a laser or something.
That's insane.
The Jonas Brothers were in concert there.
Oh, I was wondering what. Yeah. Surely they don't pack the stadium like that just for fireworks.
I don't know.
So hey, how does Jonas that work? Brothers, by the way, in Provo, like, do you not sell alcohol at that concert because it's in Provo? And I don't know how that works.
It's on the campus of BYU. I don't think you could you? I mean, it's in there.
I just wonder why they would. Like, I guess if they sell tickets, I guess it doesn't matter to them. They're not getting alcohol sales anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there were people hurt. Everybody seems to be okay, including the young dancer there that almost got evaporated by incinerated, I guess.
Can you not sell Coke either? Not cocaine.
No, they don't
Coca-Cola.
I think they frown upon caffeine, right? You probably can't sell cocaine either, for that matter.
Yeah.
A stimulant.
I would imagine that they frown on that.
All right, our 40 and 40 was Oregon at number 5 today. We move into our top 10. Our top 4 tomorrow. The number 4 team, and then we'll be at number 1 in the end of our 40 and 40 by the end of the week, 47 days away from the start of college football. Show 7:39, Aaron. The books. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget a new Pennant Grace coming up here in about 15 minutes. Go check out everything Uncorked with Taylor Korn. That includes a lot of Auburn preview stuff going on there and a special series she's doing. An all-new Village Vice is up at War Dam Pods on the Disrupt Media family right now with Zach Blackerby and Brad Law. And always, Elephant in the Room with new episodes coming out all the time at Roll Tide Pods, Mick Gillespie and former national championship winning quarterback Jay Coker. It's all for you right now. And our new Meltdown at 2 p.m. Central today. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Tuesday as we get ready. It is the start of media days in the summer. The Big 12 goes later this morning in Las Vegas. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. A ton of college football today. Clay Travis with us at 10 Central. Roman Harper will join the show today at 11:45. We'll continue our 40 and 40 countdown at number 4 a little bit later on. I want to start first with one thing Bruce Feldman said yesterday that I did not come back to, and that's my fault on driving the show. I didn't go back to it immediately when Bruce was gone, but were you surprised when he told us Will Rogers will be the starting quarterback at Washington? He believes Will Rogers will be the guy at Washington.
No, I've always thought Will Rogers is a pretty underrated quarterback, and I think he got labeled a Mike Leach guy, and then it was just everything was a bad fit last year under Zach Arnett. I think Will Rogers is a pretty good quarterback. He's got good release. He's got really good accuracy. I mean, it's going to be a drop-off from what you have with Michael Penix Jr., but, you know, honestly, yeah. Jalen Milroe is going to be a downgrade from what Kalen DeBoer had with Michael Penix
That's
Jr.
true. Michael Penix was surprisingly a top 10 pick in the NFL last year. Jed Fish, I think, has got a pretty good, at least reputation with quarterbacks, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes back to the NFL. Jed Fish, a longtime NFL, offensive coach before coming to the college game.
But we thought Jaden DeLar was going to be so good, and then Noah Fafita ended up being really good. I mean, he's had good quarterbacks at every stop.
I mean, Will Rogers, like Lance said, he was viewed as a system guy. So I will be interested outside of the classic air raid to see what he does at Washington. I mean, if Will Rogers clicks with Jed Fish, that's a sneaky contender in the Big Ten.
MyBookie.ag chat room over there, promo code next round. Rusty says, LOL, no he won't be the starter out there. Okay. Landmine believer, the problem with Will Rogers is he can't throw anything past 10 yards, which worked in the Mike Leach offense unless they were playing a team like Alabama, which never had success in his time at Mississippi State against Alabama there. I was surprised by it, mainly because instantly when Kalen DeBoer left, Will Rogers was in the portal, and he ended up going back to Washington. But for a moment there, it looked like he was hitting the road leaving Washington. And I'm surprised not only he's back at Washington, but was sitting in a film room with Bruce Feldman, Jed Fish, and Will Rogers breaking down tape, and Bruce thinks he'll be the starting quarterback.
Well, you look at his first 2 years as a true starting quarterback for Mike Leach. He had over 70 touchdowns, and he completed 71% of his passes. You can say what you want about a system quarterback or not, but if Jed Fish puts him in the right system, I think Will Rogers is going to be fine. And you also go from seeing SEC defenses when you had one of the backside SEC talent-wise offensive lines the majority of the time to now Washington. They're not going to be what they were last year, but Washington still is more towards the top of the Big Ten than the SEC, than Mississippi State is for the SEC.
What's crazy is Will Rogers only needed like 800 pass yards to become the SEC's all-time leading passer.
Right.
And that number's going to be stuck forever behind, is it Aaron Murray?
Probably.
Seems like it was.
Yeah, I think it's Aaron Murray.
He's got Will Rogers, like 13,000.
Oh, yeah, but Will Rogers was at 12-some-odd thousand. I looked at it not long ago. It was like 800 yards away behind Aaron Murray. And, that number will be stuck forever. And now he'll go get Big Ten yards, Big Ten yards. And we'll never get that record for whatever it's worth. I don't know, I'm having to think to make sure it's Aaron Murray, which I'm now convinced it is. But I don't know how important that record is, but Will Rogers was only like 800 yards away from it.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. We'll see what happens with Will Rogers and with Washington.
Just real quick, his best game last year, by the way, Will Rogers, and it was a very average season just based on everything. But his best game, he tore apart Arizona in overtime. And you wonder, Jed Fish.
Oh, yeah, if he saw that.
There's a connection there.
Well, I'd like that guy one day.
Yeah. It seems like Jed should have had his defensive coordinator in this film session as well. Will, what'd you see here? Why'd you pick us apart like that? All right, so we're off and running college football. I got a point to make here about this upcoming season after LT tells us about our friends at Odie's as we get ready for another trivia night happening Wednesday night. 2 great locations.
Yeah, tomorrow night, Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday at the original location in Crestline, the newest location right there off of Broadway in Oxmoor in Edgewood. The great food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for over 33 years. Great wings, burgers, sandwiches, salads, ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Write it down, though, tomorrow night, Odie's Team Trivia. The Crestline location, but 2 locations for you now, Homewood and the original. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff at Odie's Tavern.
This time of year, I think Bobby from Homewood used to call it, you guys are in your list season. And we've tried to make it more conversational, not to do lists. But one of the lists we always used to do was the best out-of-conference games of the upcoming season. So I sent that to Taylor. I send her a list of topics every morning that she tweets out with the guest list. And I said, best out-of-conference games. We're going to do that list today. And so then I come in with my coffee, and I'm sitting here, and I'm rolling through the best out-of-conference games this year. And there's not a ton of great out-of-conference games. The best one, helmet-wise, is Texas and Michigan at the Big House.
And then you don't have to say helmet-wise. That's a fantastic game. It's your defending national champion versus a playoff team.
I mean, USC LSU is a pretty big helmet game.
Yeah, that's a big helmet game. But my point being is what we've done is now we've taken some major brands and put them in the same conference.
Exactly.
And what you're like, oh, my goodness, Ohio State at Oregon, it's a conference game.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, Georgia and Texas.
Georgia and Texas would be the easy number one, nobody asking any questions about it, the easy number one on this list. Easy.
Right.
Well, I mean, Oregon, Ohio State would have been right there with it.
Probably so, yeah. I mean, see, now you have to think through it like, that's also would have been a non-conference. Of course, now we would not get those games if these conferences hadn't joined. I don't think there's any way Georgia and Texas would have played a home and home.
Right.
I'm not sure Ohio State and Oregon would have played a home and home, right? So while we will say, we're going to miss these non-conference games, you're probably getting games you would not have gotten. I can promise you Texas or Georgia would not have played Alabama on the road and Texas on the road in the same season.
Not in the same year.
Not in the same year.
That's right.
And they would have controlled that, right? They would have never scheduled it where, in a year where I got to go to Tuscaloosa, I'm also going to go to Austin.
We could have written the contract. First game's going to be in Athens.
That's right. Yeah. And I don't know that Ohio State would play at Oregon. I don't know that they would schedule. Now, they've done it before. They've had a home and home before, so maybe they would.
You know what's interesting?
Daniel, real quickly, LT, FSU Notre Dame doesn't really count because it's that ACC
agreement. Mandated by the ACC. It's at a conference, but the ACC schedules it.
One that we never would have forgotten, and it would have been the equivalent of what you get with Oregon, Ohio State is Clemson and Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, we still get that, but nobody's talking about it.
Because Georgia's like almost a 2-touchdown favorite.
And it's the opener, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
31st.
Should be one of the biggest games counting down to that game.
11 a.m., by the way.
Yeah, not just the opener, like straight out of game day opener. Like this is going to be the first thing you see on the first college football Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some games.
Yeah,
you bring up USC, LSU. This USC team has no pressure on them. That's a sneaky good USC
That's
team.
what I'm loving about it. The defense.
Yeah.
DeAnton Lynn, you heard Bruce Feldman mention him yesterday. The defense, he is a young, really well-respected recruiter. The defense is going to be better. How good's Miller Moss? I mean, I've got confidence in Miller Moss just based on the fact that Lincoln Riley never has bad quarterback play, ever.
Yeah. But, I mean, is it more question about Miller Moss or Nussmeier as a full-time starter? He's not just doing it for a bowl game. He's got to be the starter at LSU. And who are the receivers in that first game? So there's some questions about LSU in that contest, too. What are some others, Brown, that just jump out at you?
I mean, the pressure pack game is Miami at Florida.
Yeah, which is
huge.
But it's going to be down the list because of the records of those teams last year.
Yeah.
Like, I look at it, and it's one of the games I'm most excited about.
But if we're going WWE
storylines,
is it WWE now? WWE, NWO, whatever.
Right.
This is a loser leave town almost in this game because you would say if Mario Cristobal in Miami loses to Florida, that the pressure turns up on him too.
Well, I think look at it a couple of ways. If Cam Ward goes out and slays on the road in the SEC, then everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, watch out for Miami. Now, if he goes in, doesn't have a good game, very average, and they lose that game, I think Miami fans are going to say, what else do we have to do here? This just makes no sense. So I think that game, and if Florida's able to win that game, I think there are some Florida fans, and I've talked to some Florida fans that want the administration to be patient. But if you were to win that, I don't know. I think there are some Florida fans that really want to move on.
Yeah, I think so. I think they have probably fallen in love with what else is out there.
But I don't think you want to flush your
Napier.
season. That's one of those weird. I've never understood people pulling against their teams.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I don't think you're going to do it week one. So if they were able to win that game, I still don't know what the expectation would be for Florida because the schedule is so difficult.
If you were, this is probably another great topic.
Write it down, dude.
But if you were tanking for a coach, like wanting Florida to, if you were a Florida fan wanting to lose and you thought you could go get a coach, who are you tanking for? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Tanking for Tua, first overall NFL
Yeah.
draft pick, but who are you tanking for? Who do you want as a coach?
Well, you've fallen in love, obviously, with something that is not Napier, but what have you fallen in love with?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to use a relationship as an example, you've decided you want to break up with a girlfriend, but you don't necessarily have another girl picked out. You're just like, I'd kind of like to play the field. Like, I'd like to go to a bar one night outside of this relationship and see who walks up to me or see who I can get a conversation with, right? Or I'd like to, maybe just hit Tinder and start swiping right. Is it right? Is that the one you like?
I don't know.
I don't know why I ask you.
I wish I
don't know why I ask you.
my single days, I had to awkwardly walk over to and ask, hey, you want to dance?
Oh my God, is that an Emmy? Oh my God, it's 2.
Hey, what a heads.
So Riley over in the chat room,
Yeah.
are you done with your analogy?
Well, I'm
I don't
just
wanna step on
saying.
it.
I mean, you
get
understand.
it.
You understand
Yeah.
the analogy, right? Is sometimes you realize the relationship is over, but you don't have the next step in the
Yeah,
relationship.
mybookie.ag chat room. Riley says the USF coach, Alex Golish. I've said that for a while now. Now, old school Florida probably could have said, you know what? We can take Oregon's coach. We can go get Dan Lanning.
That's the one I was thinking of, but would you leave?
No.
I wouldn't either.
No.
And there's something so unstable about Florida. Even going back when Urban Meyer was getting it done, now you look at how it was getting done, and I know there's some Florida fans that probably don't care, but that program has got a lot of turmoil, it seems. Seems like there's kind of a black cloud hovering over it.
A lot of people are Alex Golish fans, and I understand why.
They really
Yeah,
are.
I am
yeah.
too.
But can I just say, to a job like Florida, we have put a lot of faith. He went 7-6 last year. He has been a head coach 1 year.
People are betting that his offense and what he did at Tennessee
Right?
translates back to Florida, and they played Alabama close.
But here's what scares me is, and this is one reason I doubted Eli Drinkwitz. And listen, I could be wrong about that. Based on last year, I am, and maybe based on this year, I am. But Eli Drinkwitz was an assistant for Scott Satterfield at Appalachian State. And Scott Satterfield, I think, if you'll look, was at Appalachian State 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
And he built that program up to what it was that allowed him to cash in and get the Louisville job. Drinkwitz takes it over, coaches 1 year. They're really, really good.
One and done.
One and done. And he takes the Missouri job. And I'm like, this guy never showed you he can maintain a program. And that scares me. But now on the other end of that, you've got Billy Napier, who coached, I think, 3 years at Lafayette and looked like he was building, sustaining, and he got this job, and now it hasn't worked. So
I think this year's important for Golish, too, because, I've always said year 2 is the year it ought to pop. There was no expectation last year for this South Florida team, and I think they're a team that actually could go on a run. We were talking about dark horses that could represent the Group 5, and I mentioned South Florida a couple of weeks ago when we talked about that. So I think this is a team, when you look at the schedule, I mean, they've got 2 games they can't win.
yeah.
But, they could go 9-3.
But look at Billy Napier. I mean, at Louisiana, you tell me what screams this wasn't going to work at Florida. Okay, listen.
It was the perfect hire.
7-7 in his first year, 11-3, 7-1 in conference, went to a bowl in his second year, 10-1, 7-1, won the conference and went to a bowl his third year, 12-1, 8-0, won in the conference and went to the bowl, 40-12, 27-5 in conference. What about that was like, God, I tell you what, we better tap the brakes on this guy. That screamed like any program in America looks at that and says, dude, he built the program at Louisiana. And he's got a pedigree. He's coached for Nick Saban. He's coached for Dabo Swinney. I mean, what's not to like about this guy?
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked, so...
Any more out of conference that pops for you before we move on?
Well, I mean, Brad Crawford did 10. You want 10 of them?
Yeah.
You've already mentioned a couple. Brad
Okay.
Crawford, our buddy, 24/7 Sports. That was just the first one I came across. Now, he does not have Miami and Florida on there. I would disagree with that. He starts with Boise State at Oregon. That makes the top 10 to show you maybe it's not the strongest top 10 in the world.
Would that be a bad loss for Dan
It'd
Lanning?
be an awful loss for
It
him.
would be, but Boise State is some people's pick to be the G5 rep. So that's not a bad one.
Yeah, I remember a day when Boise went into Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
And knocked off Oregon. They won that home and home. They won both games.
Was that a punch game? Or
No,
was
that was in Boise,
right?
Yeah, that was that Thursday night. LeGarrette Blunt. But those were Chris Peterson teams where you could count on them to beat the Georgias of the world, to beat the Oklahomas of the world. Don't think you've got that with Boise.
Number 9, Arkansas at Oklahoma State. I'd kind of forgotten they were playing, to be honest with you. I think we mentioned
Scary
it
game
the
for
other day.
Arkansas. I mean, Oklahoma State with more on Ollie Gordon in a second, but good little team at Oklahoma State.
It's a big game really for both. You think about if Oklahoma State really wants to, be the team that can sneak up at the Big 12, you need to be able to handle Arkansas at home. And on the flip side, if you're Sam Pittman, when you look at this schedule, that's a tough out-of-conference road game, but it's one you really need.
Number 8 from Brad Crawford, UCF at Florida. He does not go Miami at Florida. He goes UCF at Florida, and his rationale is Billy Napier might survive losing to Miami. He will not survive losing to Central Florida in Gainesville.
Because no matter what, Miami is a brand. UCF is, even though they're in the Big 12, not considered the same brand as Florida, Miami, Florida State.
Number 7 from Brad Crawford is NC State, Tennessee, and Charlotte. Again, week 2 game, actually, in Charlotte.
Scary game for Tennessee.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it is.
What's your mybookie.ag point spread there? Probably a touchdown, Tennessee?
Yep.
Number 6, Notre Dame at Texas A&M. This is week 1 primetime game day site. Huge for Notre Dame.
Massive game for both. I mean, if Notre Dame wins that game, again, there's more than likely first week of November, they're going to be 8-0 hosting Florida State.
And keep in mind here, if you're going to go ahead and want to make an early wager on this one, if you catch Notre Dame a little inflated in the number, or if you like a skinny number with A&M, whatever it is, Mike Elko, defensive coordinator, defensive guru, now the head coach at Texas A&M, Riley Leonard, his former quarterback, over as the quarterback at Duke. You think Mike Elko knows anything that Riley Leonard's eyes were always tricked by as a defensive mind?
There's no doubt.
He will have the eye candy there for Riley Leonard to throw a pick or 2 or 3 in that game. That's a scary game for Notre Dame.
And not only that, this cuts both ways, though, is, Mike Elko at Duke coached against Notre Dame last year, so he's very familiar with what Marcus Freeman and staff are doing. Now, again, that cuts both ways. Notre Dame was preparing for Duke also.
But I just picture Mike Elko in the meetings with Riley Leonard saying, "You can't fall for that. You cannot fall for that.
You get it. They get you every time.
Every time."
Number 5, to show you, to Lance's point, how far this kind of fallen. Clemson, Georgia, and Atlanta. There were years where this would be the primo matchup in week 1. And now we've got Georgia as the almost two touchdown favorite. Number 4, Florida State at Notre Dame. Now, that's a huge game.
Yep.
And we finally got to the huge games
well,
at number 4.
Technically, we slid it out, but Daniel pointed that one out over there.
But I'm willing to give that non-conference.
It's an ACC-mandated game.
And one of two things. Either Notre Dame's got one loss more than likely to Texas A&M, or they're undefeated.
Yep.
If they've got one loss, that second loss, I don't know if 10-2 gets Notre Dame in. It's kind of tricky with that. But if they're undefeated, they win that game, they're in the college football playoff. You can go on and basically book that early November.
Number 3 is LSU USC. It's a neutral site, Las Vegas, on the Sunday before Labor Day. That's that primo Sunday night matchup that we get every year now.
Yeah, and I think really the narrative of that game is if Brian Kelly was to lose, this is year 3. You lost to USC, who couldn't stop anybody last year. What are the chances you're going to be able to do anything in this expanded SEC? And on the other side, it will become the storyline. Lincoln Riley, I don't know if this is a good fit.
And then number 2, a game we did this whole segment without mentioning, and so maybe it's off our radar, but Brad Crawford says it's the second best out-of-conference game in America this year is Alabama at Wisconsin.
Ooh. It's
big nude kick.
Great atmosphere and a big game for Wisconsin and for Alabama. Everyone's saying it's first real I was on Sirius XM with Dusty and Danny this morning, and they instantly went to that game, Alabama traveling to Camp Randall, because you don't get a lot of SEC traveling to Big Ten in regular season games, on-campus games, and this is one of them.
Well,
but I don't know if Luke's got the roster right, but it'll be the first real I think USF could be a little tricky for Bama at home, but
yeah, I think USF's actually got more speed than Wisconsin.
Great point.
Oh, I would 100% agree with that. It's funny, though, that I think nationally, the way that game is viewed is, hey, it's the first big test for Alabama. Yeah. And locally, regionally, the way it's viewed is, holy crap, if they lose to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I would tell you this. I like
what's going to happen.
We can talk about Alabama's schedule later if we want, but Western Kentucky likes to sling it around the yard. It's going to test that secondary a little bit. USF, Alex Golich and that offense does some great formations, going to test that entire defense a little bit. 2 good primers to get for that trip to Wisconsin there, bye week Georgia. I like the way the schedule sets up.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely. I just think it's funny the way that Wisconsin game might be viewed differently nationally and regionally.
Yep.
I think there are people nationally that think with the changeover and all that Alabama goes up there and steps in a hornet's nest.
Yeah, I think the difference is if Nick Saban was still the head coach, hey, we've seen these out-of-conference games before, and this is just going to be another Alabama, walking it off in the second half, and it won't even be a game.
And obviously Texas, Michigan there at number 1, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
I think that goes without saying.
That's a tricky game for Texas.
It is, because Michigan is underrated coming off of the title, but I think their defense will be really good again. And I don't know, Quinn Ewers, apparently in the EA Sports college football game, he's in the 90 percentile of throwing under pressure. But that seems to me when Quinn Ewers makes his mistakes, is throwing, as most quarterbacks do, throwing under pressure. One more thing to get to in the opening segment after LT tells us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
The New York Butcher Shop, I mentioned this yesterday, the baked beans. Delicious sides, homemade sides right there from the New York Butcher Shop. But if you're a baked beef fan, you got to try these. The hand-patty burgers. I actually did the smash burger again last night.
Look at you.
Had a couple left over. Little man was over. But stop by the New York Butcher Shop, see Jim and that incredible staff. Pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all-natural chicken cut to order just for you with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Caba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
As we said, Big 12 Media Day starting momentarily in Las Vegas. Also in Las Vegas this week is the Mountain West Conference Media Days. And Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty is there, but he's not 21. So he can't go into the Circa Casino and do the media days.
Are you kidding me?
Do the interviews. He will do his interviews next door at the Golden Gate Casino, which also has some restaurants in it and stuff in a non-casino area. So you'll have to step next door to interview the Boise State running back.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nobody's there checking IDs.
Well, and the other thing, you think that you would get like a special exemption for that, where they have a badge on or something, and they're just going to one room.
Almost like a stamp in a bar if you're underage.
Yeah, but there are kids that stay in that hotel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like when we were at Resorts World, they're not checking IDs at the casino. I mean, like I could walk my teenage daughter through there and nobody's going to stop me. But if she stops and gambles, now she's broken a law, obviously, right?
I picture this brownie going on. I've never been into Circa, but I remember back in the day seeing pictures of it being like a big dome, right? The casino floor, and they had the stuff going on above them. I don't know if they're doing it out in the middle of the casino or something. That was just saying.
I'm just saying if he doesn't hit a machine, I don't think he's broken a law. So that it would seem like it's easy to say, okay, Ashton, is that his name? We got a running back named Ashton. Ashton, you can go in, but remember now,
no gambling,
no table games. Can't pull the arm.
Yeah, that was just one of the notes.
That's weird.
That I saw this morning, that his interview will take place at the Golden Gate right next door. I don't know. I don't know Las Vegas laws.
I bet they'd be lined up to talk to that guy.
Yeah, Forster's not here today. He's doing dad duty, or I would ask him. Forster's an old local TV photographer. Forster, if I told you all the interviews are over here, or we got to break down our light set, go across the street to interview the Boise State running back, will we skip that one and stay here? Yes, we would.
Yes, that kid will not be busy.
All right, when we come back, we'll unveil our 40 and 40 team today and continue our countdown to number 1, voted on by 94 of you, and a lot more to get to on this wonderful day of college sports here in the South, as we've turned past Independence Day, July 4th, and continue our countdown to football, 46 days away to week 0, being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. A little break in the humidity today and tomorrow, but then it cranks back up into the high 90s again for the weekend.
Yeah, man, it is hot out there. Make sure that AC unit ready to keep up with this weather. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. HempHillServices.com for more information.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Our friends at Longus Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longus offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longus offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longus sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longus has to offer you.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Rolling on the next round as we continue our conversation. We'll talk Ollie Gordon briefly here. Right after LT tells us about Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B has got me and Brown dialed in. Again, I was thinning out. I didn't really notice it until we started to do this venture. I asked around. Everyone said Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to call. Went, scheduled that consultation, and more than 2 years later, my hair is more than doubled in thickness. For more information, t3hair.net. Again, doing that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That's it. Dr. B also offering the Sensus Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary, as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Call 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
All right, Ollie Gordon is actually going to be today at the Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas after his DWI arrest recently. He apologized yesterday on all of the social media accounts, his and Oklahoma State's, for his actions. But they're still sending him to Big 12 Media Days.
So dumb. So stupid.
They were talking about it this morning on Dusty and Danny when I was on. They seem to take it, LT, as it is Gundy's way of making you answer the questions for your crime.
Okay,
basically.
well,
if you made the mistake, you're embarrassed, I'm going to send you there, and you got to answer all the questions about it.
So, like right when we were signing off yesterday at noon, Taylor sent us that tweet that Ollie Gordon was going to be in Las Vegas and was going to represent Oklahoma State. And so I started to discuss it with her in the office, and to me, if you aren't going to let him answer the questions, it is a complete disaster.
Like if you just say, I'm not talking about that?
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
It's an
Next
ongoing
question.
legal issue. I can't discuss it.
It puts everybody in a bad situation. It actually becomes one of the top storylines of Big 12 Media Days. It would be really easy for Mike Gundy to say Ollie Gordon was supposed to be here, but part of his punishment is he's not going to Vegas right now to represent our team. If that's the way he does it, and that's an interesting angle, if he really opens him up to everybody to ask whatever questions, and he's got to handle it himself, which is dangerous in itself too.
Right.
And especially when Kyrie Jackson just passed away in an accident involving drunk driving.
Yep.
Now, I could see a scenario in which there's, if you guys don't know how these things work. Now, I've never been to the Big 12. I don't know if it's the same as the SEC. Actually, I think in the Big 12, they just sit on a podium. They don't go room to room. So in the SEC, the players will go room to room, and there's always a handler from each player has a handler from the school. And I could see a scenario in which the Oklahoma State handler says, hey, Ali is going to start with a prepared statement about his ongoing legal issues here, and that will be all he can comment on. It's an ongoing case, so he can't answer. Then he does a nice apology and all that, and then you move on. That's what they would try to do potentially.
Yeah, but again, I don't think that's fair to anybody there.
I agree with you, and it's also going to be one of the major storylines coming out of this. And how does that help your program if you're Oklahoma State, right? Instead of positive storylines coming out of this, a lot of it's going to be Ollie Gordon storylines, which are not going to be positive no matter what he does.
Yeah, I was really surprised they brought it. Really surprised.
It'll be a huge story today. But then I circle back. Do you think? I mean, he's going to Big 12 Media Days. Do you think he serves a game suspension? Now, you did the day it happened.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I guess he's not going to serve any suspension. I still stick with that game. He will sit out.
South Dakota State, I think.
Yeah, the only thing that affects is possibly his numbers, and it's so difficult for a running back to win a Heisman Trophy. I don't even know if that's on the radar for Mike Gundy, but I think he will serve a one-game suspension. I mean, he's got to do something.
And the other side of that then is Mike Gundy comes in and says, look, guys, Ollie came to me, wanted to go so he could apologize publicly to everyone. I suspended him. The only reason he came to Las Vegas was because he wanted to go to take responsibility for it. That's
part of his suspension was having to answer for it.
Yeah, and Ollie has stood up. He's taken responsibility for this. He's handled it like a grown man. He's admitted his mistake.
No, don't throw me in the briar patch. Let's take the guy that just got a DUI to Las Vegas.
Yeah. Now, I don't know that they even stay the night there. In the SEC game.
Boy, I would not let my players stay the night.
In the SEC game, they land, they go to the Omni in Dallas, they get back in a car, they go back to the airport, and they fly back home. They're not even there 12 hours. I would imagine that's the way the Big 12 works too, but I don't know.
Some come in, I think, and spend the night.
If
you got an early start time, I think you stay the night, even when it was here in Birmingham.
Yeah, I know some coaches come in early sometimes because they I think Hugh Freeze has got a couple of speaking events in the state of Texas. What's that called? The
Ambush,
Tiger Prowl, whatever it is. I think he's doing Houston and then Dallas the night before. So he will probably be in a little bit early.
Let's do our 40 and 40 countdown, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag, Brown, gives us our 40 and 40. We're to number 4 today, and Tyler will unveil it here in just a second.
So I always try to predict at MyBookie.ag how many games Lance is going to say this team is favored in, and I'm fascinated by this one today, okay? But however many games it is, you'll be able to play them at MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at MyBookie.ag. Get that sign-on bonus. Use it right away. They've got a revamped VIP and loyalty program. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere at MyBookie.ag. Always start by using code NEXTROUND to get that sign-on bonus. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Oh, Tyler, will you please unveil our team?
Here we go. Number 4 in the rankings today. Yesterday was number 5, Oregon. It's Alabama in at number 4, voted on by 94 of you guys. Largest viewer poll in college football, and Alabama slides in at number 4. They'll be 4 or 5 in the AP poll, too.
And I think Alabama fans right now, truthfully, would be like, if we're number 4 at the end of the year, which means we got to the semifinals of the college football playoff in DeBoer's first year with how good Georgia and Ohio State are supposed to be, I think Alabama fans would take that. The bridge from Mike Shula to Kalen DeBoer finally retired, and Nick Saban. Who would have thought that he would have been there 17 years? And the expectation for Kalen DeBoer should be more national championships. I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, this is a guy that's 104-12 in his coaching career.
Yep, pretty good.
And he just, in his first 2 years in the Power 5, had Washington 11 wins and then had Washington playing for the national championship.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating study. You see so many times the legendary head coach leaves and the school falls off after that. I need to go back and do this. Like, we'd have to identify the legendary head coaches. Accomplishment level following that, I've got to think Kalen DeBoer is in a pretty high percentile there. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you take the legendary head coach, and here's his replacement. What's the accomplishment level of the replacement? I would say Kalen DeBoer, his accomplishment level in that category is going to be quite high.
Well, just go back to some of the other guys. I mean, Les Miles?
Yeah.
No.
Notre Dame did it really well. You know, their guys didn't. For some reason, Notre Dame coaches didn't stay around a long time to win
you're talking
championships.
about back in the day.
Yeah. Through Aaron Parsegian,
right.
they did it pretty well. But who else? Miami, their more recent dynasty, 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, Erickson, Butch, Jimmy Johnson.
They'd win one and bolt.
But if you go like super legendary coaches at schools like Woody Hayes, the replacement was Earl Bruce, and that was Bo Schembechler. The replacement was Lloyd Carr. Lloyd Carr,
he won a national championship.
So you got to say that
beat, but yeah.
But now his accomplishment level wasn't great though. There's my point, right? Florida State, Jimbo Fisher. He had never been a head coach before. That was Jimbo Fisher's first head coaching job. Replacing Bobby Bowden. Give me some who are other legendary guys.
Paterno had everything going on with Penn State. That was a disaster.
But there again, Bill O'Brien had never been a head coach before. That was his first head coaching job.
Bryant to Ray Perkins.
Perkins
Alabama,
was so pro coach. Actually, was not a great pro coach. And he got that. So, I mean, this is why this is such a fascinating study, because you almost never see a legendary coach replaced by a guy that's a high accomplishment guy like Kalen DeBoer.
Well, and DeBoer is such a good offensive guy, too. And he's got Jalen Milroe, who still, I don't want to call him a project because he got better and better. I mean, over his final 12 games, he only threw 4 picks. Over his final 4 games against really good competition, he threw 0 picks. The offensive line is going to be really, really good. The running backs are going to be really good. Wide receivers. Is Ryan Williams a guy right out of the gate that makes an impact? Jeremy Bernard, is he a guy that comes over and from being a 3rd or 4th option at Washington, can he become a 1 or 2 at Alabama? Does a guy like Kendrick Law step up?
Man, did you see that picture the other day of Kendrick Law? Now it's sometimes it's when an athlete like that's in full run and you take a photo, the muscles you catch it at the right time and every muscle is flexed.
Right.
But that picture of Kendrick Law the other day that came across my timeline on Instagram, it was like that guy is different looking. The guy's a speedster and he's cut up.
He was always a guy that you would see him in plays and you're like, boy, why does Tommy Reese not use him more? And I think a lot of fans said that too. It wasn't just us.
Well, and from Tommy Reese to now Nick Sheridan, the guy that's going to be calling plays for the first time, you thought Ryan Grubb. Initially, we had Brock Hewitt on immediately when Kalen DeBoer was named Alabama's next head coach. And he's like, hey, look, you guys are good, especially if he's bringing the gang with him. Well, one of the gang was Ryan Grubb, who stayed in Seattle and is now with the Seahawks. So we'll see how it works. I know it's DeBoer's offense, but still Sheridan's going to have his fingerprints on it. I don't really have, outside of cornerbacks and really, I guess, defensive backs outside of Malachi Moore, I don't have any concerns with Kane Womack taking over this defense. Like if Nick Saban was still there and he hired Kane Womack, everybody would be like, this is an incredible hire.
Yeah, I mean, guy has been a successful defensive coordinator, was a head coach.
We'll continue the conversation, but I wanted to point out Gary Moeller, everyone is saying in the chat room, replaced him at Michigan.
That's right.
So a little beat between.
Do you remember when he got fired or how he got fired?
He had a DUI, did he not?
He got an altercation in a restaurant, and I think he put his hands on somebody, but he was apparently intoxicated.
Yeah.
I think they were looking for a reason.
Yeah.
That was the great quote. Michigan men don't act like this, I think was basically what was
because Bo Schembechler was the AD,
director.
right? He was still the AD. So my apologies there on Lloyd Carr. So that one doesn't even count. I think Gary Moeller fits in the discussion. He was, I think, a lifetime assistant. I don't think they had been a head coach.
Yeah. That's usually, truthfully, that's usually the first place they look. Like,
right?
Tom Osborne. They went with Solich.
Frank Solich, who did, in hindsight, did much better than what has followed him. But again, I mean, that's my whole point in bringing this up is we have just very rarely experienced an obvious great coach, not even a good coach, a great coach, followed by an accomplished guy. We just don't get to see this very often.
Well, you asked me this, and you said you were fascinated to see how many games it would be favored in. I think when it's all said and done, and I think it's going to be a really good Alabama team, I think they're going to be favored in 9 of 12. I think they're going to be underdogs in 3 games. And I don't know if in Nick Saban's entire career.
No, I don't think so.
In Alabama, he was an underdog in 3 games. But I think they're going to be a slight dog hosting Georgia. I think they're going to be a slight dog at Tennessee. A lot of this is going to depend on Nico and how he's playing into October. And I think they're going to be a slight dog at LSU. They could be favored all those games. They could be an underdog against Oklahoma, too. So they could be as dog as in many as 4 games, and they could be favored in 12.
If Oklahoma's playing well, to your point, by the time you get to week 12, it very easily could be another underdog situation.
When you look at this schedule,
it's tough.
Much like the NFL, you think there's going to be a lot of one-possession games. And something that is scary is you've had one consistency since 2018, and that's Will Reichert. And now when you get into these one-possession games where, as Nick Saban knew, if I get this guy inside of 50, I feel really good he's going to hit that. Are you going to have that kind of option this year?
I mean, that is something
we'll see.
Again, in the Nick Saban era, we've never discussed is, boy, you've lost a legendary kicker.
Legendary.
Yeah, I mean, this is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history you're talking about here.
When you look at recruiting, too, I think it's been huge for Alabama and Kalen DeBoer to hit the ground running and recruiting, because you could see if they were struggling recruiting right now, how the competition could be stacking that up against them. So hats off to Courtney Morgan and Bob Welton, the general manager and player personnel guy over there, who have put together this recruiting class that, as we sit here today, a long way from signing day, is number 2 composite rankings. They've got 7 guys who are top 100 recruits and 11 in the top 150. And I just don't think anybody was expecting that kind of success from Kalen DeBoer early on. But Alabama's our team today, 40-40, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. We'll talk a little Alabama a little bit later on. But Rockstar, if you'll give me cut 2, let's just all go back to the Kalen DeBoer introductory news conference. Remember, we were doing multiple hours here covering this.
Boy, this seems like 2 years ago to me.
Yeah, imagine for him.
Yeah.
I bet it seems like yesterday in some ways and forever ago. But Kalen DeBoer talked about filling Nick Saban's shoes just on his first day as the head coach in Tuscaloosa.
Filling his shoes, I mean, it is impossible. And I say that humbly. But I'm going to say this, I believe in what I can do as far as continue to take places that are in a good spot and building on what is already here. I think there's a piece where you have to have a confidence in yourself because there will be things that are second guessed when there's so much continuity that's happened for so many years at such a high level. It's awesome, right? But who doesn't want to be a part of, if you're truly a competitor, part of that ultimate top end goal of being at the top, being the best. And so, I don't expect to fill Coach Saban's shoes exactly how he did it, but I know that there's an expectation, and I know it can help our program together reach the same goals that have been set forth with championships, doing it in a way that's done with class, done with integrity, as we build better men.
I am trying to think about who has been a great elite coach winning championships, who's been able to take over and continue to be a great elite coach and win championships.
Well, it doesn't happen. And that's what scares you a little bit, but that's the point of me bringing it up is you've never really tested it this way either. Most of the time it has gone to like some sort of succession plan that you had.
If you went winning percentage combination at LSU, Nick Saban, Les Miles, or winning percentage combination Mark Richt, Kirby Smart at Georgia, what do you think the better overall winning percentage is?
Saban's early year, Saban had some up and down years as he was building LSU. I'd probably go Richt and Smart.
I think I would too. Though Smart, I think was an 8-win coach his first year. I think Richt had some.
Yeah, but that turned quick for Smart.
Some 8-win
real
seasons.
quick. Yeah. He's never looked back.
To me, I go back to Miami. They did it with multiple coaches, and it was more about the recruiting and the program.
But I will also say, I guess if you call Howard Schnellenberger the legendary Miami coach, I guess that's what you would do.
He's the architect.
Jimmy Johnson was an experienced head coach. Now, Jimmy Johnson hadn't torn it up at Oklahoma State.
Right.
But he was an experienced head coach, right?
How many different guys won one there? 4 different guys?
3. You had Schnellenberger, Johnson, and Dennis Erickson.
Right.
Because Butch Davis never – Coker. Yeah, Coker.
Yeah.
I always forget that one.
They had Coker was in 2000.
Yeah, it was after Butch Davis. Yeah.
But then they have one in 83, 87, 89, 91.
Jimmy Johnson, Erickson,
and Schnellenberger.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, Butch Davis never won one.
Yeah.
But those are the only 3 coaches.
But so somebody won 2 at Miami.
Dennis Erickson did.
Dennis
right?
Erickson did,
or Jimmy Johnson.
Or Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, one of the 2 won 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was 4 championships, 4 different coaches, but I guess not. Yeah, pretty good run there.
So maybe that's it, and that's the one you look at. I don't know. I'm just saying this doesn't get tested a lot when you have an obvious legendary coach hand off a program that's in good shape. That's the other part of this too. How many of those programs get handed off in bad shape? Like Florida State. It started to decline under Coach Bowden before Jimbo was able to take over.
That's why I keep going back to Miami, because it didn't seem like
it never declined
during that time. They stayed up here with the talent they had on the team, so it was almost taking over a good NFL franchise. They're taking over a team that's got good players.
So I mean, this is kind of the best of both worlds. Your program's not in decline by any stretch of the imagination. You were just in the college football playoffs. And you've hired an experienced head coach who was in that same playoffs. I mean, we just don't see this tested an awful lot.
Tell us about MyBookie one more time.
MyBookie.ag, code next round. All those games, whether Alabama's favored in 9, 10, 11, 12, does not matter. You can play them all. Right there at MyBookie.ag. Use code next round when you sign on. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round.
Did you see the recruit Georgia got yesterday?
Massive.
Lance was talking about this before the show. He's blown away by this guy.
Jazir Jackson was basically on everybody's NBA radar. The NBA listed him at 7 feet. Georgia lists him at 6'11", 340 pounds. He's only a 3-star, but that's because he's been playing basketball. It's a project for Kirby Smart, but you watch the tape, this guy looks amazing.
Yeah, at 6'11", I mean, how effective can you be as an offensive lineman?
Well,
getting leverage. I mean, it just seems like if he was good at basketball, let's just stay in basketball.
But that reach, imagine, I mean, I could keep
if he's got a good initial punch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know this is a project, but 6'11", 340 pounds, I mean, his offensive line, they're always massive, but this is probably the biggest we've ever seen.
How many times would Bryce Young hit this guy in the back of the helmet or the nameplate?
It's another problem. When you've got a Carson Beck who's a legitimate 6'5", not nearly the problem that this could possibly be.
I was trying to think. I thought I remember there being a college offensive lineman, a tackle that was like 6'10", 6'11", and got drafted in the NFL. Not Entman.
There's one player I didn't click on the link, but there's one player.
Lincoln Kennedy, Orlando Pace. I mean, those guys are 6'8", 6'9".
Massive guys.
6'11", we haven't seen.
How big was Mandridge? Was he 6'7"?
Probably 6'7", 6'8".
But that used to be. We talk about Mark Sears has got a he doesn't fit what the NBA is looking for size-wise yet, height-wise. Maybe they'll change his mind after another great year at Alabama. But there used to be your offensive lineman. You could be too tall because they didn't want their quarterbacks having to be blocking their vision downfield and throwing over the top.
It's a legitimate concern, even if you don't have a short quarterback. I mean, if a 6'11" guy is for me to Rockstar right there, I'm 6'1", borderline 6'1.5".
Borderline 6'2".
Borderline 6'1.5". I had to change that after the official combine measurement in Nashville.
And my new driver's license actually says 5'11" now.
Yep.
And my hair, I had to put my new hair.
You didn't change it to 5'11".
I did, and bald.
When did you get a new driver's license? Did you just have to renew it?
I just had to redo it.
Between Nashville and now?
I put new weight, too. I'm no longer 170.
Oh, really?
I'm no longer 170 blonde and 6 feet. I'm a different person now.
I mean, did they have gun to head?
Mr. Dunaway, you can
she asked, it was the first time ever that they've ever asked, do you want to change your hair color here? And I didn't have a hat on for the picture.
Flesh.
So I really went 5'11". And I really went bald.
It's a rough picture, too.
Not many people have a great driver's license.
No, nobody does.
I was carrying my weight that day right there in the cheeks as well. So, yep.
Yeah, 5'11", hair, bald.
Yeah.
B-A-L. I've never seen
I think it's B-L-D, isn't it?
Well, they say B-A-L. Yeah, I would go B-L-D. I think
hair, bad.
Hair, none.
Gone.
Yeah. Who knows? That may be the last drive. At some point, do I even have to get them renewed?
Yeah,
I become old enough, I just forever driver's license.
I really don't know how that works.
Like tags, eventually you become antique. You don't even have to get a new tag.
So real quick, though, back to Alabama, because we were previewing to start this segment. Where do you guys think they end up?
Let's do that coming up after this quick break here. That's a good conversation to have. Win-loss total and what Alabama's season looks like. Being brought to you today by our friends at A+. Brownie, tell us about A+.
It's A+ Tile Home Remodeling. It is my guy, Brad Bell. I have got this scratch in my throat that I cannot get rid of, and I apologize. So I'm going to struggle through this one.
Okay, well, let me tell you about A+.
Well, you know about them.
Yeah. If Tyler punched that picture up here real quick, I can tell you a lot about it, and you jump in where you can. A Plus Tile, 205-422-1758. 422-1758. Look at that bathroom right there. When you start to resell your home, people go to two places. They go to master bedroom, bathroom, and they go to the kitchen. Look what they did with Brown's old ratty bathroom, and they turned it into a good-looking bathroom there. Just a great work there with A+ Tile and home remodeling, 205-422-1758. Get on the list. I mean, Brown's wife scoured the internet to find the perfect guy. What's his name again?
Brad Bell. That's our boy.
Bell.
Yeah.
My boy Brad Bell. And A+ Tile, too. And they did LT's house, too. LT had a kitchen. Basically, it served soup to the homeless in that kitchen, but now it's fantastic. It is A+ Tile home remodeling, 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758. Tell them Brownie sent you.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
The wait is over. Tonale has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonale offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonale leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonale.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
All right. Way to Wellness. This is going to be our calorie count Way to Wellness season projector right here for Alabama win total. Brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness. Great things about Way to Wellness is you don't count calories. But I'm not going to give you the whole plan. You got to find out for yourself by going to the website at planforme.com. Planforme.com. The Meltdown guys who you see right here, they've lost now 90 pounds combined, and that number continues to grow. Weight loss is just one part of what Way to Wellness can do for you. They also can help you maintain after some weight loss. I lost 45 pounds once, and They help me maintain it. They also help me control blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. Planforme.com, the website, no contract, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation is absolutely free with our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. The chat room, the mybookie.ag chat room, has opinions about Alabama. What do you think it works out as?
Okay, so their win total in Vegas right now is 9.5, which I think is dead on because it's 9 or 10 wins. Let's just flip this around. Alabama, for the first time in I don't know how long, doesn't get Ole Miss on their schedule. If this was Ole Miss's schedule, if Ole Miss had to go to Wisconsin, hosting Georgia, at Tennessee, hosting Missouri, at LSU, at Oklahoma, and hosting Auburn, Ole Miss ain't going to the playoffs.
No chance. I mean, you look at 7 or 8 wins there.
Yeah,
right?
and I just don't. I think we overlook how difficult this schedule is because of the Alabama brand.
Really tough schedule.
Yeah, and I think it's 9-3, or I had them number 3 in our poll because I think Alabama's going to be really good. The problem is the schedule, but I still think 9-3, depending on where those losses are and how some of the wins are. I think Alabama could sit home, watch the SEC championship game, and still get in.
Okay. And I said this earlier. Do you guys agree with me on this, that the selection committee, prodded by, and I will ask Greg Sankey this, prodded by the SEC and the Big Ten, will not hold SEC or Big Ten champion loss in the championship game against them when it comes to the playoffs? They cannot do that. Yeah. I think if you go there as a 10-2 team and you lose that third game, that can't vault another 10-2 team ahead of you. You know what I mean?
I think the problem can become if you've got 3 or 4 9-3s, and one of those 9-3s by tiebreaker ends up
that is
the
a problem.
SEC
Yeah, that is a problem.
Because you take on a 4th, you ain't going.
Yeah. This is why you have a selection committee, not a poll, by the way.
That's right.
It's easier to control those things with a selection committee. And that's why I think Greg Sankey and the Big Ten, that's why they probably want the selection committee, because it's easier to control that.
Yeah.
But I do think that'll be the case. Yeah. I don't think you can't continue to have conference championship games, which the Big Ten and the SEC want to do.
And the TV partners want to.
And the TV partners want, if your team gets punished by going there.
That's
you just can't continue those games.
That's
I mean,
right.
it doesn't make any sense.
That's right. But with Alabama, let's now in a world say they are 3-0 bye week and they beat Georgia.
Different world. Different world at that point. I still like, somebody was, Rusty, please find me 3 losses, not happening. I would go Georgia. I would go at Tennessee, and I would go at LSU right now.
Yeah.
But at Oklahoma's losable. I don't think Missouri can beat them at home. Auburn's not going to beat them at home. At Wisconsin, I don't see that.
Oklahoma
that
could be
Oklahoma
tricky.
road trip, just because of where it falls in the season, is a weird road trip.
Yeah, I think if everything breaks the wrong way and, the bottom was to fall out, they could go 8-4. Yeah. I think 10-2 or 9-3 is the number. I think with that schedule, I think it gets you in.
I mean, it can be very cold in November.
I was about to say
in Norman, Oklahoma,
and that's slotted for the late window. That's either a 2:30 kick or a 7:00 kick. 7:00 kick, November whatever that is, 20-something. In Norman, Oklahoma, is not going to be a good weather day in all likelihood.
Great day to bring out the all-white helmets, all-white unis.
There are 2 guys that are, and we can get more into this next week in Dallas, 2 guys that could dictate the fate of the SEC, and they're 2 quarterbacks that have never really started in the regular season.
Nico Amaleva
and Jackson Arnold. Yeah. And if those guys, by the middle of October, if Nico's really good, and by the middle of or towards the end of November, if Jackson Arnold's really good, I mean, those teams could be playoff teams themselves.
Yeah. I tell you what, after we do Clay Travis in the next segment, let's circle back to that. Who could be the surprise teams? Because you just hit 2 there for good reasons. And we'll talk about that in a couple of conferences. One more thing to get to here in this segment after LT tells us about the Inverness Country Club, the great young membership group there. It's the place to be in town.
It really is. I mean, they've got something for everyone at the Inverness Country Club. Find your sense of community at Inverness. The social membership, which includes the resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch. They've got tennis. They've got pickleball, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Child care, also a big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid and go have yourself a day on the court or course. Did you also know that you don't have to be a member in order to hold an event in Inverness? Inverness can hold anywhere from golf tournaments to corporate meetings to wedding receptions and anything in between. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron today. Tell her the next round sent you, 205-991-8608 or online at iccalabama.com.
Do you wonder how Terrion Arnold looks in his new uniform? They had the photo shoot day with the Detroit Lions recently, and Terrion Arnold threw on. Remember, he's going to be number 0.
Agent 0.
And he looks really good in the uni, doesn't he?
That's a good-looking uniform for one thing.
Yep.
They got it dialed in. I like their uniform.
Camp's opening soon in the National Football League. We play football on August 1st with the Hall of Fame game, so we're about to open up these camps, and Terrion's ready to roll there in Detroit. Photo shoots going on. Joe Burrow, by the way, was on the Pardon My Take podcast with Barstool yesterday, and he says he loves the situation that Cincinnati's in, that nobody's talking about him.
Nobody.
He's coming back off of only
Got to
playing
stay
10
healthy.
games.
Got to stay healthy.
He thinks they're going to be really, really good.
I think they will be good. Now, did they ask him any questions about Livy Dunn? Because I know they were at that white party together.
Yeah.
Livy Dunn, by the way, coming back. I didn't want to say it now. I wanted to send Tyler a picture or an excuse to put a Livy Dunn picture up, but we'll say it now anyway. Livy Dunn's coming back to school for a 5th year. She made that announcement last night.
I am so
I'm so
confused. Paul Skeens is her current boyfriend.
That's right.
There are rumors that Joe Burrow could be hovering.
I think she was openly campaigning for Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
at one point, I think.
I think if you're, if Joe Burrow, if he wanted to snatch that up, he could snatch it up. Skeens is going to make.
He's going to make some money now.
Yeah, he's going to make $60 million a year, but so is Burrow. So would you rather have the NFL quarterback? And look, very secure. Joe Burrow's a much better looking dude than Skeens. Wow. Skeens looks like he drives the old white van around the neighborhood looking for somebody.
I mean, just because they were at the white party together, which is a big party in the Hamptons, I believe.
Yeah,
in the Hamptons. I mean, it was an LSU picture that floated around. Just because you're hanging out doesn't mean she was really she was at home with a cookie cake and balloons when Skeens came in, and she told him that he made the All-Star team.
Look, she doesn't really have bad options. Again, she's going to be loaded. I'm shocked she's coming back for a 5th year. I saw the Cavender twin is dating Carson Beck.
Yeah, I wondered your thoughts on that. Because
Carson Beck looks like he's from a different world.
I've always said he's got a little Rami Malek in him.
But if you're a Cavender twin, hold on tightly.
He's got shark eyes.
Not hold on loosely, hold on tightly.
Don't go 38 special.
That guy is going to make a lot of money.
LT just blew through what would have been a great photo album. The Cavender twins and Livy Dunn. Maybe we'll circle back and debate these stories a little bit more. Top of the hour here, Hemphill Services, bringing you part of the show here. Running hot or cold, whatever the season is outside, Hemphill keeps it consistent on the inside.
Yeah, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys today, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2, Clay Travis standing in the wings after LT tells us about HydroLive.
Yeah, HydroLive, you got to stay hydrated this time of year. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, it's all under one roof. Ask about memberships. You receive one free IV bag per month. You recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit. Boost that immune system with HydroLive therapy as well. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com. Mention Next Round, 20% off any of the services. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, and Highway 119 in Greystone. Also Tuscaloosa. Again, mention Next Round. Get 20% off any of the great services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
All right, Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick. At Clay Travis on Twitter is where you follow him. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Clay? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing fantastic. Thank you. Is there part of you that misses going to SEC Media Days? I don't think it's been quite a while since you've been, I think, because of some of your new responsibilities. It is next week in Dallas. Is there part of you that misses that party?
Not really. I mean, I went by and swung by I guess it was in Nashville last year, right? Then we threw we had a party at a bar in Nashville, had a good turnout, a lot of good time. I mean, what I would say about it in general is when I first started going, which would have been like, I don't know, 04, 05, something like that, you could actually interview all the coaches, and it was much more of a free-flowing process. The last few years that I went, I'm curious, maybe it's changed back in some way since, but it's hard to get players and coaches because it's become so much more corporatized, with ESPN taking a big role in it, and with CBS, I guess, will be rotating out, so I guess it'll be entirely an ESPN production now. And what I found was that, and it makes sense, I mean, if I were paying as much for the rights as CBS and ESPN were, I would want all of the coaches for as much of their time as I could get, and all of the top players too. And it just felt like, as a radio guy, you were getting fewer and fewer good additional interviews compared to what you used to get 20 years ago. Would you say that is roughly accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives the coaches an excuse not to do interviews.
Because they have so many they've got to do on the schedule. 100%.
Yeah, and there's a lot more. I'll tell you what, there's a lot more now, Clay, is there is a lot more of the university marketing team, their video team, their social media team, that there's some of that free time they're eating up because they're creating their own content, which is fine. I mean, that's what they're getting paid to do, right?
Yeah, but I remember back in the day, when the first few years that I was going, when it was in, the Winfrey Hotel, and, you would sit there and coaches would come down and they would go, show to show and do Radio Row. And you didn't know from one moment to the next who might be there, who you might get. And there was an excitement associated with it. And nowadays that just doesn't exist in the same way. I like it because I enjoy the conversation shifting from it's 180 degrees outside to, hey, it's not too long till we're going to have college football to watch again. So I always appreciated that as a pivot, and as a sports talk radio guy, I always appreciated those days because oftentimes there wasn't very much else going on, and so there could be storylines that came out of it. But man, it feels like there's almost no stories. The guys, the coaches, and the players all feel pretty buttoned up. As if they're there not really to get noticed, which is an oxymoron in many ways when it comes to media days itself. But I don't feel like it has the same sizzle that it used to. And the fact that ESPN puts it on television, I think, has also kind of taken away some of the mystique. And what I mean by that is, if somebody does say something interesting, you immediately see the video and 164 different people tweet the exact same quote, and it feels a little bit different than it did when something might happen. You might not know it was happening.
Sticking with media days, the Big 12 media days begin in Las Vegas today, Clay. And one of the stories, Ollie Gordon is actually traveling with Oklahoma State to meet with the media. Arrested for a DUI last week. When that came out, I said, look, this guy's going to be suspended for the South Dakota State game to start the season. Dunaway disagreed. He doesn't think he's going to be suspended. And maybe not now. I mean, I'm shocked he's coming to media days. I don't think it's actually fair to anyone because it's going to be a major distraction. You know he's going to be asked about it a million times, and if they button him up and they tell him not to answer it, what does that do for anyone?
Unless he's innocent and he's innocent, which I think it's been a long time since somebody was arrested for a DUI and it was like, hey, you know what, he didn't do anything wrong. This was all a misunderstanding. I can't think of very many of those. Now there's, good lawyers who can get cases dismissed and all those things. But in terms of like, hey, this was just a wrong case, wrong time, he didn't do anything inappropriate, that rarely, if ever, seems to happen. So I'm with you. I'm surprised that they would take him in there. My guess is since they're going to do it, that the attorney probably gave him a written statement. And he'll say off the top, hey, my attorney asked me to read this. I'm not here to talk about what happened associated with the DUI, but here's my statement. And then the first 2 or 3 media members honestly have an obligation then at that point to try and ask him about it. And then he's got to play the, sort of kabuki theater game where he goes back and he says, well, I just read my statement. Sorry, I understand why you're asking, but I'm going to stick to that. It does seem like a strange decision to make for Oklahoma State.
Do I remember incorrectly? Isn't SEC Media Day sort of like the birth date for Outkick? Didn't you start it 15 years ago?
Outkick was founded in July of 2011.
Okay,
so,
14.
Outkick will be, what is the math here, 13 years old this July. Basically right about now. It was founded 13 years ago, which is wild. But those were the days back in 2011 when it was still possible. I think I'm curious what you guys would say it really kind of changed. I think A&M and Missouri going to 14, it made it more of a frenzy. And I don't mean a frenzy in terms of, look, Nick Saban walking through that lobby was always crazy. Tim Tebow walking through that lobby. Superstar players you could change. It's almost like the air pressure in the room changes when they're coming through. There's an excitement level. But I think when they went to 14, it felt to me like it began to become more of a corporatized event. And certainly now with that Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, just the sheer logistics of it is becoming more and more complicated to manage.
Well, I would say, too, moving out of the Winfrey in Birmingham, which I do not blame them for doing. They've moved to bigger, better locations. But the Winfrey in Birmingham was kind of the homey. I mean, it was a shopping mall. I mean, like the general public was just walking around next to, Steve Spurrier and Nick Saban and Urban Meyer.
Yeah, you felt really sad for the family that was checking into the hotel, walking through the lobby on Alabama Day.
Yeah, they had no idea what they were getting into.
Yeah, no. And then you had that one hallway where, I don't know, there were probably, 20 radio stations maybe that were there now. I don't know how many they get now. And podcasts and everything else, I imagine there's a lot more people there. But it's just really kind of diminished your ability to be able to talk to everybody in the same way. And I would bet, I don't know, I don't even know what. I would be curious what percentages are live radio versus podcast that would even set up at the SEC Media Days now.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a different environment now in Texas than it was in the Winfrey lobby.
Yeah, I haven't asked Chuck yet the number of media people credentialed yet, but when you bring in the Dallas, Oklahoma City, Austin, Houston, San Antonio markets, I mean, you're bringing in some of the bigger media markets in the country.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine that it will be through the roof, and then it's the first one for Texas and Oklahoma. Again, they're always been smart about it. They pick a week where there's hardly anything going on, when you need some sort of sporting jolt. And so I would imagine this will be the biggest that they have ever had.
I know you don't have a lot of regrets in life, but did you ever regret asking Tebow that question? And did you guys ever meet up after that? Like, if you crossed paths, have you ever had a conversation about it?
Oh, he and I would say, are friends. I mean, we text every now and then. I don't.
Is he trying to find you salvation?
Yeah, trust me, I need all the help I can get. But a couple of years ago, I thought this was kind of an interesting, come around moment on it. Tebow has, he will every year auction off his Heisman Trophy for charity. So you can have the Tebow's Heisman Trophy in your house or your business or whatever else. And I had Tebow's Heisman in our house for 6 months.
How much did you have to pay charity for that?
My wife would know better than me, probably, but I think it was like $75K.
Do you know which charity you picked? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's Tebow's charity.
Oh, okay. So it goes to his charity. I got you.
No, sorry. I misspoke there. It is the Brett Boyer Foundation. He donates it to the Brett Boyer Foundation, which is a pediatric heart, a great charity here in the Nashville area that's sponsored by Luke Bryan and his family because they lost a niece to pediatric heart condition. And so they have raised millions and millions of dollars to try to help children with those issues. So Tebow has been at that charity event several years, and I've talked to him a lot over the years at that event. And a couple of years ago, my wife and I bid on his Heisman, and I think it was $75,000 or something to charity. And so we legitimately had his Heisman Trophy in the house.
How did we never know that? Like, did you take pictures with it? Did you drag it around town?
I didn't ever move it. I don't know. I don't know that this is going to stun you guys, but for the most part, I have not publicized the charitable donations that I have made. So I think that just never. People knew because we had a Halloween party and you came in and you get your picture taken with Tebow's Heisman. I don't know.
I didn't see it, man. I've been. I didn't see it.
You were at the Halloween party, weren't you? Maybe not that one.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever put it out. Anyway, but so now we did. Yeah. So I would say I've got a good relationship with Tebow, and to the extent that my soul needs salvation, hopefully that charitable donation to host this Heisman Trophy for 6 months helps to at least bump me up the pearly gates rankings a little bit.
You can't buy your way in.
It's not how it works, Clay. I hate to tell you.
I understand, but maybe I can just move myself up a little bit at the power, so I don't have to stand in line as long.
We don't have to stand in line as long. He's got a fast pass.
I'm not a fan of lines.
Do you? No, I'm not sure who says, I want to go to Disney World and stand in more lines.
Let me trust you, though. That's the one line you want to be in. The other line's a lot hotter.
I'm hoping the day I die, it's a very low turnout.
Did he know, as you built a relationship, did he remember that moment and realize it was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he wrote about it in his book. But I honestly, it's been 15 years, 20 years. A long time since then. I still don't even consider it to be that controversial of a question because when I was growing up, people who were super religious were very open about the fact that they were saving themselves for marriage. The AC Green thing was a huge story in the 80s and the 90s when he was with the Showtime Lakers. You want to talk about the guy who's probably turned down more sex than anyone in athletics history. I bet it was AC Green with the Showtime Lakers back in the day. And so it was a major point of discussion. And that week, the cover story in Sports Illustrated was about how, Tim Tebow's dad asked for a priest or a minister or whatever it was, and instead he got a football player. The reality is he got both or something like that. And I'm paraphrasing the way the story ended. And so I still think he would say that he was not, embarrassed or taken aback by the question. And I think it actually made him a bigger superstar than he would have been if he had never answered that question.
Well, I mean, I think he was going to be a big superstar, but I would say, his whole life has been about using his platform to profess his relationship with Jesus Christ. And I mean, I've always said, I know people got all wound up about you asking that question, but I'm like, what a better opportunity to do that than you asking that question.
Yeah, and look, I think he welcomed it. Like, I don't think that he was in disbelief the question got asked, because it's not an uncommon conversation. Maybe it is now. I don't know. I'm not in an evangelical church. I was raised in an evangelical church, but that was the kind of conversation that was very common to hear when I was a kid growing up. So I understand for people outside of the universe, they might have been like, oh my God, I can't believe a question like that got asked. But those were not uncommon conversations that occurred in my church youth group when I was a kid growing up. I mean, and I think probably a lot of the people listening to you guys right now were also, I mean, I was a Baptist church kid. I mean, that was a very common conversation at teenage years. So again, maybe I'm more comfortable with it partly for that reason, for the culture that I grew up in. But I don't, to your point, Tebow has never shied away from using his celebrity to advocate for his religious faith. And so, no, I don't have any, I can't think of any question I've ever asked in a public setting, on radio, on television, that I regret asking, because I'm genuinely asking typically a question that I'm curious to know the answer to. I've been hung up on a couple of times, in general, whether it's a politician, president of the United States, all the way down to, running back on an SEC team or a head coach on an SEC team. My goal, if I have somebody on the show, is to ask a question that I think would elicit an interesting answer, or one that I'm interested in, at least.
Well, back then, God was using Clay as Saul, to helping Tebow on the platform. I can't wait for the Paul chapter of your life coming up here as you continue down that road, man.
That's an incredible religious homily there.
Yes. Thank you.
I told her.
By the way, Dunaway, as a Biden voter, I wouldn't think you even had ever opened the Bible.
There we go.
I will tell you this: as I stumbled into that comment, I felt very Biden-like.
How about your boy Dunaway?
I knew this was coming.
Is there anyone in sports radio that would have done a worse job in the debate than Biden did? Like I think you could pick, the guy in Opelika and put him on the stage, stand in for Biden, and I think he would have done a better job. I don't think there's a single on-air sports talk radio guy or gal that would have done worse than your boy Biden a couple weeks ago.
Well, I think the question you asked, and you said, would you actually hire him to do any job?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's seeking the single most important job in America. I would argue. People could argue, maybe Elon Musk has got a more important job, right? But I think he's got the single most important job in America, maybe the world. And if you told me, Clay, I got this guy Biden, can you find a job that he can do at Outkick? Can you find a job that he can do at the radio show? Can you find a job that he can do at any, at your bar that you used to? Like, there's never been any business that I've owned or owned a part of that Joe Biden could be employed at right now. I mean, could he do a job at your show?
I mean, he might be able to send our T-shirts out, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think so.
We can find something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'd advise him to retire.
And I don't think he can pour a beer up here.
I think he would stop halfway through the address, though.
Walmart greeter, but then my co-host was like, dude, he couldn't stand up in the front of a Walmart store for like 5 or 6 hours and shake hands with people coming in. I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. I don't even think he could do Walmart greeter.
Clay Travis, the founder of Outkick. Thank you very much for the time, Clay.
All right, appreciate y'all. I'll see you.
All right, see you, Clay, with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
And the show being brought to you in part by our friends at Slice. They'll bring us 4 downs later on, but we want to tell you about Slice and their great lunch opportunities.
Yeah,
right
5
now.
great locations: the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, and now Homewood, right there on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy lives on through his brothers, Chris and Jason. Get into one of those 5 locations. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, SliceBirmingham.com.
Think about the story, how far college athletics has come. The story Clay launched his website with was the Tuscaloosa menswear, right?
Yep,
Was that the first story?
The suit story.
And think about how, like, that story doesn't even register right now. If I told you every Alabama player went and got a free suit at Tuscaloosa menswear, you'd be like, okay, what?
It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they need a suit.
They get a car with it?
Yeah, they need a suit. What are you telling me this for?
In fact, so much so that EG next week in Dallas will be doing basically what they're wearing, a runway like we're at the fashion show in Hollywood. She'll be doing a red carpet with all the players out there. Can't wait to see that. They're dressed to the nines all the time. Big 12 Media Day today. I feel like the Big 12 champion is doing interviews today. These are the teams that are there today. Tell me if you think they're Big 12 championship contender or not. TCU, Kansas State.
No. Yes.
Kansas State, yes.
Yes. Cincinnati.
No.
Texas Tech.
No.
Utah.
Yes.
Arizona State.
No.
Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Iowa State.
No.
And see, tomorrow, I don't think you have a championship contender. But you do have Deion Sanders in Colorado
Where's
tomorrow.
Kansas?
Is Kansas there tomorrow?
Kansas
That'd be your
tomorrow.
one.
Oh, yeah, Kansas
West
could win
Virginia, BYU, UCF, Baylor, Houston, and Arizona tomorrow. But I think the champions today, either Kansas State, Utah, or Oklahoma State, that's out in Vegas, and they're about to start talking out there. It's talking season, as we like to say in these parts. All right, show being brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. There is a chance of some thunderstorms today because of the dirty side of the tropical storm that's blowing up through Arkansas and Tennessee and into Ohio and New England after some devastation in Texas. By the way, 2.5 million Texans without power from Beryl making landfall there, and some deaths and destruction. But be on the lookout for maybe some severe thunderstorms in our area today or wherever you're listening to us. Be safe out there. If you have a roof damage, Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing can help you anytime. Keep this number on standby because once something happens, he can come out and help you patch that roof, throw a tarp on it so you don't lose everything more on the inside. He can help you there as the insurance adjuster comes out. He works great with insurance guys. 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531. Save that number, or you can always DM me. My DMs are open on social media, and I can help you with that number. Or you can look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City on Facebook. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Insurance companies trust him, and it's locally owned for over 20 years. It is Storm Restoration Roofing.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Roman Harper with us coming up at 11:45. He'll be with us to talk Alabama, who's our 40-40 team. You know, when we do, people see us from around the SEC or the country, and when we start this 40-40 countdown, they always assume Alabama is going to be the number 1 team. But I can't remember the last time Alabama was number 1. I assume it was 2020.
I think it goes back to before Georgia's run.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people would be surprised how infrequently Alabama was number 1 in this once we opened up the voting to the masses.
Yep.
Because we used to just do this on our own voting, right? It was just the 3 of us.
I don't think so. I think we've always had some.
Have you always
some
reached
people.
out? Because we've been doing this a long time now.
Some
The 40-40 predates this. I mean, it goes back to our radio days.
Yep. Oh, I think we started it the very first summer we were together. I think it's 2010.
Yeah. So we've had a good long run at this. Now it's been a 30-30. It's been a 40-40.
Yeah.
It's had different numbers.
Yeah. It's either been 30 or 40-40.
Was there one year we did all the Power 5 teams?
We did.
Well,
that may have
was a
been the
mistake.
first year. I think we did every team.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I remember. All right, guys, worst team in football, Florida International.
Yeah.
Let's discuss them.
Yeah, we're starting 121 days until college football.
That's right.
Here's team 121
I remember
today.
about the time we hit Miami, Ohio, and Bowling Green. I'm like, this might have been a mistake. Maybe we should have waited till the good teams.
Show being brought to you by our friends at UCA Urology Centers of Alabama. Great folks there. 16 locations in the Birmingham metro and Alabama area. So check it out online at urologycentersalabama.com. urologycentersalabama.com. They can help you, or you can call the number to schedule that appointment, 205-930-0920 for Urology Centers of Alabama. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. They'll take care of you. Things change in life, guys, so stay on top of it. It's Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Brownie.
Lance and I just had a remarkable conversation with Tyler on the way to the bathroom. We'll need Tyler's mic for this in a moment. So I was dropping, it was rainy the other night.
Finish that sentence quick.
Yeah, I
was dropping.
Yeah, it was rainy.
I was taking a shave.
Every time you play that, I think he's going to say the other word. It was raining the other night when we went to see Inside Out. So I dropped Jennifer and Hallie at the curb. And as I dropped them at the curb, Tyler's walking in the theater. And so as we're going to the bathroom, me, Lance, and Tyler, I said, Tyler, I saw you walking to the theater the other night. What'd you see? And Tyler's answer was?
I saw Maxine, Fly Me to the Moon, Despicable Me 4, and Kinds of Kindness.
So that's 4 movies.
4 movies
this weekend.
Wow. 4 in one weekend, Tyler?
Yeah, that was between last Thursday and Saturday, I think.
Okay, so you didn't walk into the theater, see 4 movies, and walk out. It
Oh,
was like
no,
a marathon.
I'll only do like 2 a day.
Only 2 a day. He's got a limit.
Only 2 a day.
And I mean, that's about, literally, as much as I love movies, that's about as many as I see in a theater in a year is 4.
Okay, uncomfortable question, but 1 ticket, 2 movies? Is that the way you do that?
No, I've got the AMC A-list, so I get 3 free movies a week.
They say what's up to Tyler when he walks in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Welcome in, T.
Okay, but like if you were a normal person like me, if I pay my ticket and I go behind to the corridor where the movies are, am I supposed to see one movie and then go and buy another ticket to see another movie, or am I free reign as long as I want to stay in there? Can I see them all?
You'd be stealing from the studios and the theater by seeing more than one movie.
Yes, Jim.
Okay.
We call it around.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, Tyler. Have you ever watched a pirated movie back in the day?
I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Stole from
Also
the
Dead
studio.
Man's Chest. I saw The Curse of the Black Pearl.
I get it.
Yeah. Have you ever
Watched a pirated movie?
No, gone back there and seen one movie and then go to another theater to see a different one? I don't think I ever have.
I the only time I've done it, like I've walked in a certain theater and it was so packed, and this has been a long time, that I wasn't going to sit like on the front row. So then I had to go back out, readjust, and figure out what I was going to go see.
Go to a different movie.
Yeah. And then, you know, as a kid, we would buy tickets to a PG movie and go to an R.
To Jeremy's point in the mybookie.ag chat room, AMC has made that difficult with the assigned seats now.
Oh, wow.
Which I like. I very much like that.
Oh, I love the assigned seats.
Yeah, assigned seats are fantastic.
Oh, if I went to a theater today, I'd be lost. I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah, so the one I was talking about with Tyler up at the summit, it's not just assigned seats, it's assigned recliners.
Okay.
Leather recliners, full recline, and they.
How well do we clean that?
I don't know. It's dark.
I mean, I'm a guy sitting here with chocolate on the back of my pants.
The
from a
most
bar
comfortable
earlier,
theater
but-
seats ever were Carmike, where I think Rockstar used to work, and they were filthy. They were orange.
I never cleaned them.
You think they made it that color for a reason?
I think they were once red that faded into orange almost.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But these are comfortable recliners. And like I fell asleep. I slept through about 30 minutes of Inside Out. That's how comfortable it was. But it's also like, I'm going to have a difficult time describing this to you, but they've sectioned it off where you feel like that row is the only row in the theater. You can't see the heads in front of you. And unless people are being super loud, you can't tell who's behind you.
So they've taken limited seating.
They've
now.
limited the seating, and it is far more comfortable. And it's assigned, so you select where you want to sit.
Almost like our buddy Todd Coder does with concerts. He sort of sections it off.
But what I like about it is now you don't have to get there early to get a good seat. You pick your good seat, and you can get there freaking 20 previews. I mean, a 7:20 movie start time's like 7:50.
The best part of going to the movies, though, is the previews.
I saw Gladiator. Have you seen Gladiator 2 preview?
I have not seen the trailer yet.
Gladiator 2?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Denzel's in it.
Denzel. What are you laughing at? What's everybody laughing
They're
at?
just giggling back there.
Why?
I'm just observing.
What are you observing?
There's 2 of them?
Well, I mean, the original Gladiator, the
This is
iconic
a- this is a-
movie.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's bringing it back 24 years later.
Yeah. Has it been 24 years, really? That's
Do
insane.
you think they're doing this because of the Top Gun Maverick success?
I really don't. No. I don't know. I mean, they got Denzel, and then
This is why I don't get invited on the Meltdown at 2 o'clock Central Time today.
who else is in it?
Pedro Pascal, that's not in anything these days.
Yeah.
He's like a #1 actor right now. And the girl's in it from
The Corona commercial, too.
Lunceford, help me. Who was in the first one? Who was the mom?
Yeah, Connie Nielsen.
Yeah, Connie Nielsen, Denzel, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things, Paul Mescal, just nominated for an Oscar a couple years ago. Pedro Pascal. It's got a lot of people in it.
I'm super excited about it. I haven't seen the trailer. How's the trailer?
Looks good.
It looks better than I thought it would be.
It looks like Gladiator 1, kind of different actors.
Is it the same character as Lunceford?
No, Paul Mescal is he his son? It's Russell Crowe's son. And then everybody else is-
Did our high school quarterback just miss the trash can when he threw it in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Not a basketball player guy. Man, he is all leg too.
Cheese.
Yeah, my God, he's got
Cheese
some
is
leg.
like 6'5" and 6 foot of it is leg.
Our summer intern just missed the can as he threw at it.
Look, are those the longest legs you've ever seen on a human? It's crazy.
So he's on stilts.
6'5", 5 inches of
You'd
it
be
is
a great
torso.
Uncle Sam.
You guys need to do the Lunceford Passing Academy back there. Show today being brought to you as well by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. Before we get to, say Woodhouse. We'll do Woodhouse in a second. Let's go ahead and do Slice and 4 Downs here.
All right.
It's brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice again, LT.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Get a slice and a salad today from the Soul Pie, the Bajaya Special, the Hot Mama. You're going to absolutely love these specialty pizzas. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More wins this year. Alabama And I'm talking about the entire season.
I get
with
everything.
The postseason.
Or the Stallions.
Or the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season.
Ooh. I mean, this can't continue every year for the Chiefs, although it did for the Patriots.
I mean, the crazy thing is the Chiefs in the regular season did not look great.
They looked bored.
Yeah, and then once they got to the postseason,
Yeah.
But if Alabama's got 10.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs will have more than 10. I'll go Chiefs in this one.
Because 11 is
even 11, I think the Chiefs could have more than.
Yeah,
that's 11-6, right?
Yeah.
I think I would go Chiefs as well.
I think Chiefs now.
That's 6 losses.
But I think Alabama could win 10 and still get in the semifinals. That'd be 2 more wins.
So do I get the postseason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get the whole thing with Alabama.
So yeah, that'd be 2 more wins. That'd be
I
12.
mean, but say that's 12. That's only a tie at that point. Then 11, you might miss the first round. I don't know. I think I'm going to go Chiefs on this one.
I'll go Chiefs as well.
I'm going to go Chiefs.
Because, I mean, Chargers, I mean, I'm thinking of the teams they play twice. Raiders are down. Chargers with a new coach. It looks like he's trying to change their roster a bit.
Yeah, Raiders manhandled them last year, though.
Yeah. I don't see it happening again.
Second down.
And you're likely going to be playing with a newly engaged Travis Kelce at some point.
Who wins a college football playoff game first, Mike Norvell or Kalen DeBoer? And I should take back at Alabama because Kalen DeBoer's already won one.
Yeah. I'll go Kalen DeBoer. I think we got sidetracked on the segment. I think Alabama's 10 or 11 wins, doesn't go to Atlanta, host a first-round playoff game and wins it. So that'll be the win right there.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
And I don't think Florida State, I'm in the minority, is going to be as good as they were last year.
No, I don't think so either because of the quarterback with
and
DJ.
I think the ACC is better.
I actually like Clemson in the ACC. We'll do our official picks later on. And I think Miami will end up being pretty good. So I'm going to go with you guys. I'll say DeBoer.
Third down.
O.J. Simpson would have been 77 today.
This ought to be interesting.
Bigger part of American history, O.J. Simpson or The Simpsons?
Ooh, both iconic. Or one
Yeah,
infamous
I mean, The
and one
Simpsons,
famous.
33 seasons, 768 episodes, which is insanity.
Longest running TV show of
Ever.
all time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
you know
it?
what's I think what's second? I think it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I thought technically it was
Terrible
60 minutes or something like that.
Well,
Is it?
I guess written show.
Yeah.
Comedy written.
Yeah.
I think
Script written.
longest prime time. Well, I guess 60 minutes is
Yeah.
too. Definitely longest animated. I used to like it as a kid, but the older I got, the more I was just like, I'm just not into
They
it.
don't age. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been in the 4th grade for 33 years.
But America stopped and watched O.J. Simpson's chase. I mean, everybody. You couldn't, everybody was aware of that.
You know what's crazy, and I still think all generations know who OJ is. I mean, he's been brought back a million times with different, made-for-TV movies
Yeah.
and different things like that. But when I check celebrity birthdays, it's this one chart, and I've told you it's a bunch of influencers, a bunch of YouTubers, people I've never heard of. But out of 60 people, I had to go because there weren't a lot of birthdays today to different professions. In football, he popped up. He wasn't even on one of the top 60 or 70.
You know, it's just crazy,
It's
though.
like he's had a checkered past.
I'll never forget this. The night of the chase, Jennifer and I went to China Luck in Anniston to get dinner on a date.
Is that Chinese food?
It turns out it was, yes.
Wow. It's called
Pizza.
China Luck?
China Luck, yep.
Did you know that they have? Payne, did you know they have a gladiator?
I don't know if
chicken
you know
parm.
this. The Chinese owners aren't really creative with their names.
Yeah. We bypassed House of Chin to go to China Luck. House of Chin was in Saks.
But China Luck, I don't think Luck should be in a food title. Is it still around?
I think it is closed.
Did it have a young child doing his homework by himself?
I mean, you think about it, the most creative name, maybe it was the Great Wall.
The Great Wall.
Yeah.
Great Wall.
Which is a great name.
We could have came up with that over a beer.
I know. But no, my point was going to be there was a TV on in the lobby and people were just standing they had already eaten and paid their bill and they were just standing watching the TV. I mean, people were enraptured by that OJ thing. I've never seen anything like it to this day.
I'm going to go Simpsons cartoon.
I'll go
though.
OJ.
Fourth down.
Tom Hanks, 68. Better career, Tom Hanks, Nick Saban. I'm going Nick Saban.
You're not a huge Tom Hanks fan.
I liked early Tom Hanks, and he takes crap movies now, and
now so does De Niro.
Same character, and
So does De
And
Niro.
apparently Denzel does too now.
I don't know. Let's wait and see on that.
Gladiator 2.
There's 2 of them.
Guys, it's been 24 years. Y'all can laugh at me.
Like, I really believe Captain Phillips was the last good Tom Hanks film.
But they have recliners at theaters now?
I mean, are we going to do this and this one too? Gladiator 2?
What? Is
it going to be an iconic movie when they do this?
Give me Tom Hanks movies since Captain Phillips. Give me the bad ones you're talking about. I don't think I've seen any of these.
I'm just not interested. I saw Bridge of Spies. I thought it was okay.
Be Your Neighbor. He did that one.
Yeah, I heard it was a good performance.
That was a good one.
I heard the Elvis he was awful in.
Greyhound was not great. I watched it.
Awful. That was a COVID movie that came out on Apple Plus.
Yeah, not great.
Where he's the bitter guy, the driving guy that just came out.
I didn't see that one.
Zach says Sully was good.
Yeah.
Was that made for TV?
No, it was a full-length motion picture in a reclined theater.
And I always thought, I was like, man, he's a pilot. He landed it in the Hudson River. You know, there's some other pilots that could have done that. And then I saw the air disasters.
Yeah.
And like a 1 in a million. Like the precision you had to have and the luck you had to have to leave to land that, because more than likely one of the wings was going to hit first and the entire plane just blows apart.
Yeah, that's going to be bad.
Yeah. But in the movie, if I remember correctly, right, the landing happens very early on. And then it's the trial and stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie.
I thought Flight. Well, I never saw.
Here's what's crazy though. You've always praised his role in Castaway. You know he's a really good actor.
Well, I thought in Road to Perdition he was great.
Yes.
I just thought there were some overrated things. Like I thought he was great and Big.
Yeah.
I thought Forrest Gump was overrated.
Yeah.
But I'm in the minority.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia was great. Yeah.
This is a tough one here.
Joe versus Volcano.
I mean, look, Nick Saban had bad seasons at LSU and Michigan
Man
State.
with one red shoe.
Yeah.
Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe.
Nothing in common.
Yep.
What is Tom Hanks' Louisiana Monroe?
Joe versus the Volcano.
I think there are some people that might make an argument that Tom Hanks is the greatest actor of our generation.
You can make that argument.
You cannot argue against Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach of all time.
That is a great point right there.
You've got Mel and Sleepless in Seattle, both him, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those were hits.
From 1990 to 2000, the amount of I think it's 2004. The amount of movies he was in, like from Toy Story, Road to Perdition.
But it would be interesting to pull like
come on.
his best decade versus Nick Saban's best decade, because Nick Saban in his best decade had 5 national championships. Tom Hanks had 2 Oscars.
That's tough. I mean, it's a tough question.
Very close, but contractually, I'm obligated to say Nick Saban.
Is Tom Hanks the best actual actor of our generation or the most accomplished? I would say most accomplished is hard to, I mean, you could argue it's hard to argue against. I don't think anybody says he's the best actor. Like, nobody thinks he's a actual better actor than Daniel Day-Lewis or somebody like that,
Jack
right?
Nicholson.
Or Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Both guys iconic for getting COVID when they got COVID, too. Tom Hanks was one of the first people.
Okay. He was
Nick
in Australia,
Saban missed
right?
the Iron Bowl for it.
That
Tom
is true.
Hanks at 68, though, that's a big number for Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Hey, do that to Nick Saban.
And that is 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, get in today, lunch or dinner. Pick a pizza up on the way home. 5 great locations for you. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Hey, before LT tells us about Woodhouse Day Spa, I wanted to tell you guys about Flavor Flav. You see where he's the official hype man for the U.S. women's water polo team.
I remember that. I think it was a trash story.
They were on, Flavor Flav was on with Maggie Steffens, the captain of the team, on CBS Good Morning, or whatever their show is, I think back on Monday yesterday.
Okay.
Flavor Flav gave every person on the team $1,000 and a Virgin Voyage cruise for them to go on a cruise. So he obviously has a deal with them. He's 65. I'm not saying that $1,000 is not a lot of money, because it is a lot of money and it's a nice gift. But when I see him on the commercial hyping them up, and he's going to be their hype man, and he's talking about the struggles that the water polo girls have to have 2 jobs to keep their Olympic dreams alive, and he wanted to help out. $1,000 seemed a little light.
$1,000 a cruise? That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, a cruise is probably for one person $5,000.
Maybe. It depends on how nice that is.
But don't you feel like he has a deal with Virgin Voyage?
100%. He's not paying for it out of his own pocket.
I also want to remind you that I don't think Flavor Flav's got a lot of money.
You don't think so?
I don't think any of this is coming out of his pocket.
But my big takeaway on looking at this story, Rockstar, is that Flavor Flav is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Public Enemy?
Public Enemy is.
Okay.
Flavor. No R.
Flavor Flav, but Rockstar.
Which is kind of like
It's in
a
the
strawberry.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's the loud music rock and roll.
So he's in there with Public Enemy, then, not as a solo artist.
No.
Right? All right. Woodhouse Day Spa helps you out today.
Treat that special someone to the gift of luxury from our friends at Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at Summit Shopping Centers right off of Highway 280. You can choose from a menu of over 70 great options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's Day Spa since 2009. Get in, see Stuart and the incredible staff. Tell them the next round sent you, or order that special person gift 24/7 online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Who all was in Public Enemy?
Chuck D, Flava Flav,
and one other guy.
Yeah,
the other guy.
But
he also was at the Rock
culturally,
Hall of
they
Fame.
were they were massive. I mean, a lot of political messages behind their music. I was never a big Public Enemy fan. I like some of their stuff. Bring the Noise.
Chuck D, Terminator X, Sister Souljah, Davey DMX, and Keith Shockley. I guess they've had they got more than that. My God, the original Terminator X, Chuck D, and Flava Flav.
All right. Well, I mean, $1,000 is a nice gesture, trying to help them pay the bills before they go over to Paris and try to win water polo.
You came all the way
gold course.
around on that topic in just one commercial.
Yeah,
It ended up being a nice gesture.
Well, I mean, it was a nice gesture. I thought he could do more. I didn't know.
Well, remember, he's bringing back Red Lobster too.
Yeah.
He ordered everything off the menu.
That's right. He's having to save Red Lobster
at one
too.
location.
Yeah, that's probably $1,000 there.
All right. When we come back, more on Alabama, number 4 team, and some more college football stuff, including a debate at 11 o'clock Central Time, starting hour 3, on a couple of key votes that you'll have to cast when we're out at SEC Media Days for the All-SEC preseason team. A couple of offensive positions that I want to know how you fill the backfield, the wide receiver core, and the quarterback room out. We'll get to all that as we roll on. This is the next round, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Our friends at Lawn Use Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lawn Use offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Lawn Use offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Lawn Use sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Lawn Use has to offer you.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Back with you on the next round. Show number 740 today with LTD&B, everyone behind the glass, and everyone except Forrester today, who's being super dad again. Rockstar's back there, and Lunceford, and Tyler, who's in for Forrester. We appreciate all you folks being along with us. Before LT tells us about Michelson, I wanted to go back when Lance asked Kalen DeBoer about his expectations this year. Rockstar, if you'll give me cut number 3. Remember, we were at the North River Golf Club for our charity event over there this year. And in the sun, as they were wrapping up this charity event, LT sits back and asked LT asked Kalen DeBoer about just this first season in Tuscaloosa.
We were talking about expectations. You were talking about them. You know what's here. Do you expect to win a national championship in year one?
Yeah, I mean,
he played for one last year.
I'm aware.
I'm just asking. You've got a talented roster, by the way.
This is what will get spread around the internet.
Yeah.
This answer. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like that's what you come here for, right? You come here, and there's going to come a point in time where there's a lot of pressure going into a week or going even into a moment of a game. And, the thing I'm always going to remind the guys of is this is why you came here, and that's why I came here too, is to be a part of that. And having those expectations, and that's what it's been, and that's what it needs to be. You try to do everything you can each and every day to make that happen, to live up to that. That's certainly our goal.
I'll tell you 2 things this guy has done, and
a lot of interviews with us.
Well, yeah, that's true. I think we know everything there is to know about him. 2 things he's done that this won't necessarily win you a national championship, but it might. I'm just saying these are 2 things that you have to say he's done. He has not run from the expectations in Tuscaloosa.
Nope.
I don't think he can, though.
I know. I mean, that may be something you're pinned down to.
That would be bad if he did.
I said on Sirius XM this morning that 5 years from now, if he's still here, he'll still be being compared to Nick Saban. I mean, as long as he's there, he'll be compared to Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Much like Saban early on was compared to Bear Bryant.
But with that in mind, the other thing you cannot deny he's done, and the more I hear from Tuscaloosa, the more I am actually surprised about how extensive this has been, is making it his program, not just coming in and saying, Nick Saban won all these championships. Why would I change anything?
Right.
He came in and said, Nick Saban has won all these championships, but I'm going to do it the way I'm comfortable doing it.
And you have to admit first you're not Nick Saban to do that, right? I'm not Nick Saban.
That's right, yeah.
So I can't do it the way Nick Saban
But I'm telling you, like initially you heard, well, there's music at practice. And then you heard, and the more I have heard, the more I'm like, holy crap, this guy really has changed a lot about that program.
Yeah, the culture is different. Now, that doesn't mean, like, you can have 2 really good cultures run differently.
There's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, the way Nick Saban did it was obviously really good, but it doesn't mean it's the only way you can be successful. That's not the only way.
Jalen Milroe in a recent podcast, I forget which one it was, or I'd give it credit.
I think it was with Connor, wasn't it? About the celebration?
It may. I think it was with Connor. It was a different one I was talking about, though. He was like, the players who stayed here, we're hungry, and Kalen DeBoer, yes, is doing this, and this, but a lot of this is also player driven, where if you were around here, why you came to Alabama, and we're sort of, as leaders of the team, sort of pressing everyone else to still hold up the standard of Alabama.
Yeah, I'm just, again, the more and more that trickles out from Tuscaloosa, and it's like, well, here's what is going on in the Alabama program now. You're like, this guy literally has changed he's changed his office. Like Nick Saban had one office, Kalen DeBoer's got an office in a different part of the building. I mean, it's like absolutely everything has changed.
Yeah, morning practices instead of afternoon.
That's right, except you hope the winning. I mean, that's the one thing you hope never changes.
Our friends at Michelson with that look ahead to Alabama's season.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Teller, the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I wore the contacts for over a decade. I was wasting money on the contacts and solution each and every year. I now have 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make that call today, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
By the way, Dan Hurley's new contract we talked about yesterday ends up being about $8.3 million a year, $20 million less overall than he was offered to coach the Lakers. So he said no. He's still making a lot of money, but $20 million less than what the Lakers were offering.
But that was 6 years, right? You think cost of living, $20 million over 6 years?
Yeah,
you think
probably.
Okay.
California taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
Now, I bet it's not cheap to live in Connecticut
No,
either.
no.
But not L.A.
Not L.A.
Bill Self is the only coach making more than Dan Hurley year to year now. Bill Self, $9.6 million a year to be the coach there.
And those are the two current best coaches in college basketball.
Yeah, Lance mentioned it. Hurley's the best going. Self's got the legacy. I mean, I don't know which one you'd say is better.
By the way, Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates, both over $5 million, both in the top 5 or 6 in college basketball coaching.
Which is pretty remarkable that we're to the point in this state where both coaches are in the top 10 in salary.
Yep.
It's been a long time since Tony Barbie was the head coach at Auburn, hasn't it?
Auburn fans really excited yesterday as some video of Miles Kelly, the 6'6" shooting transfer from Georgia Tech, made it out from practice where he was draining. Hokanson says he's a 35% shooter from anywhere on the floor and will bring great talent to Auburn this year, so that was good. But the big debate starts now because the commissioners are getting together this week, and they will decide on expansion of the NCAA tournament or not. Apparently, they will decide between 3 choices: 68, stay there; 72, or 76. And I have a feeling we're going to go 76.
All right, so that's adding 4 teams to play-in games, basically. So we would have...
That's adding 6 teams to play-in games.
I still say we go back to 64.
Yeah.
No, it's adding 4 games of play-in games, 8 teams total, right?
From
it's
68
to 76.
That's
Yeah,
right,
so you're adding 4 play-in
4 more
games.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do, Brown, they're going to make that play-in day all-day basketball.
You know, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
As long as it's, I mean, what's the difference in 4 play-in games and 8 play-in games to you? Is there really that big a difference?
No, look, I mean, from a gambling perspective and from a viewership.
Yeah, if it's all day, I'm sitting here and at 11 a.m. I got a play-in game going, I'm okay with that.
Look, and there's always urgency when it's one and dones, but it doesn't mean it's going to be great basketball. I thought 64, and I've always said this, but I think 64 is a perfect number.
Here's what I would love for them to do. If they do end up going to 76, I would like those teams to go ahead and fly to whatever region they're going to be at and play that game at that arena.
Don't just do it in Dayton.
If it was in Birmingham.
Yeah.
If we hosted the first 2 rounds and it was a Friday, then you would play your play-in game into that tournament on Wednesday in Birmingham. Tuesday and Wednesday would be the day. You'd have 4 games each day. 4 games Tuesday, 4 games Wednesday.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go to your regional site.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't,
I mean, I don't know what the link to Dayton is anyway.
I think
Dayton just said we'll host it.
Yeah, they needed a place to host it, and Dayton's like, okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to
They have
get...
supported it greatly.
Yeah, they have. Their fans turn out.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it would make more sense to do something like that if you are going to expand
I
it.
agree.
Yeah. All right. Cooper Flagg, by the way, number 1.
Man, did you see highlights?
Oh, he looked good, didn't he?
I mean, he's 17 years
that's
old.
what I was about to say. He doesn't even turn 18 until later on.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't watch a lot of recruiting tape, but watching him just practice with the U.S. national team and the way he looked like he wasn't overwhelmed at all at 17.
Yeah. The one clip I saw, he got blocked by AD and then passed it. He got the ball back, passed it out front, and then the guy hit him back door and he dunked it. He's, what is he, 6'9"?
Yeah, he's big. He is projected the number 1 overall 2025 pick.
And he's going to Duke.
It took me a second when I was watching the video that leaked out last night, or leaked out, was given out, whatever, to remind myself he's playing against NBA players in that video.
Yeah, supposedly the best of the best.
Well, I mean, this isn't Christian Laettner when he played with the 92 Dream Team. I mean, Christian Laettner was arguably the best player in college basketball for 3 years running.
This kid's not even played a college game yet.
Yeah. And he also couldn't get into a casino.
That is true.
And place a bet at age 17. All right.
But you can bet on him and his props. You know how funny that is?
Shh, let's don't get that shut down. Hunter says Jabari dunking on Embiid was crazy too. That video came out with a former Auburn player, Jabari dunking on Embiid was good there. I think Jabari from Auburn, Brandon Miller's on the select team as well. That select team is just the guys who didn't get put on the U.S. team, getting them ready to go over for the competition. All right, 1 more hour to go here on the show that's being brought to you by JohnsonRVCenter.com. I saw 2 more families yesterday, Brownie, on Instagram picking up their new Johnson RV.
Well, they've changed their life there, and you can do the same. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman. 334 Indicator is where you find Johnston RV Center. They've repriced both those lots. So confident in the pricing. that they give you a nationwide guarantee. You bring them a price on any RV nationwide, a comparable RV, and they will beat it at Johnston RV Center. They love the military the way we do on the show. You are what makes the United States of America the greatest nation in the universe. No questions asked about it. We can't say thank you enough. A small way of doing it, though, they give you a great discount for veterans and active duty military. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show. LT, Brownie and I live sort of in the same area. Veterans Park near us, they built how many pickleball courts?
There are 8.
Okay.
I think it's 8
It might
because
be 8.
I pass it on my way home. You were going to make a point. Go ahead.
I was. Let me make a point real quick. July 4th morning,
okay.
My son, like me, loves breakfast. So we're getting up and going to a local Waffle House at 7:30 in the morning on July 4th. And we're passing it, and every court is full, and there's a wait at 7:30 in the morning on July 4th to play pickleball.
So I do the...
You can't play at 11 o'clock.
I do... Too hot?
Oh, too hot. Dude died on his motorcycle in Death Valley yesterday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Is that why they named it Death Valley?
Heat exhaustion, like 128 degrees.
Did you see the 4 shark attacks at San Padre Island in Texas?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Same shark.
Same shark?
That's what they always say.
So I do the zone every Sunday night on 3340, and coming home, I come home down Valleydale. And we tape at 7:15. We're done about 7:45. So I pass that pickleball court about 10 till 8. It's about 5 minutes from 3340. I think so. Maybe not, but it's still daylight, at that time.
Yep.
Jim, it is every court full and probably 2 teams deep waiting to get on. 8 pickleball courts.
I don't know. I'm
every
old.
Sunday. It is not a Sunday I go by there where it's not packed.
I'm old, so I don't know how you. I guess what I'm asking, back in the day when I wanted to play pool, I put my quarters on the pool table, and when my quarters came up, it was my turn to jump in and play the winner to try to take over the table.
I think I haven't.
How do I get onto a court?
I would assume it's just like hoops. You show up, you're there. I've got next, and
I just
do I have to? Does the winner stay, and I got to take you on?
I would think, yeah.
Wow. One of our very loyal audience members, Zach, over in the mybookie.ag chat room, has invited me to play Frisbee golf. And I always tell him, if I'm going to be outside that long, I'm going to play actual golf. And I say the same about pickleball. If I'm going to be outside that long in the heat, I'd rather play golf than pickleball. But I've never played pickleball.
Pickleball's fun. I had a listener reach out and went and played with them, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Boy, TikTok, you'll get some great Frisbee golf shots, man. Some hole-in-ones from a distance.
Not long ago, I played Old Colony, the city-owned course over in Tuscaloosa where, for now, Alabama's practice facility is. And through the woods on the 10th is a Frisbee golf course that I think the city also owns. Like my host was showing me through, he's like, right through there is Frisbee golf. And there was a little walkway through the woods where you could get there.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I did not hit my tee shot on the Frisbee golf course.
We used to have one over at Montevallo too. I was equally horrible getting off the tee there as I was in real golf. This hour of the show being brought to you by Champy's. Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You cannot beat Sterling when it just comes to a great dude. Over a decade at that location, and he's wonderful at his business there as well. Hence the success for over a decade. Great customer service, but he cooks up the best food in the world. Brined overnight, cooked to order Southern fried chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Just looking at the tamales right now, I'm starved. I'm hungry, and that looks fantastic. Champy's Chicken, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you this hour.
Coach Jeff says, we tried to do pickleball at Veterans, but left after an out because no one would leave. It's not like basketball. There's no good system for who's next. Yeah, I don't know how you would police that. I mean, how long does a game normally last of pickleball?
I'm trying to remember. 20 minutes, maybe.
I don't know how you police that.
I would say an hour. You get the court for an hour. They need to have a timer with a light, and your light goes yellow and then red.
If you take 4 out there, I think it should be that winners keep court, but you keep rotating. That makes the most sense. This needs to be revised.
Casual game can last 15 to 30 minutes, while competitive matches can last 45 minutes.
So I saw on TikTok, to Dunaway's point, a professional pickleball league, and the guy hit the ball so hard it deflated momentarily.
The ball?
Yeah. Did you play with balls that could deflate?
Went into it.
No. So
it made it dent.
They're really hard wiffle balls is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like a wiffle ball. It's got the holes in it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, it deflated momentarily. And, Jim, this is how serious this professional league is. They went to review. And the referee comes out with a Britney Spears mic on and says, after review, the ball did deflate. The point does not count.
Yeah.
I mean, they got freaking review in professional pickleball.
Birmingham says it did deflate. Overrule it.
Yeah, so it deflated. And the guy was like, I didn't hit it that hard.
I did this because I almost fell for a, what's it called, the pickle or whatever, fake headlines.
Yeah.
Mari sends us humorous headline. What is it? I thought the pickle did like sports.
The pickle's probably different.
The Babylon Bee has become the industry leader.
Mari writes in, says this is humorous. It says 4 courts at Wimbledon being changed to pickleball courts.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It is crazy. I mean, most apartment complexes have changed their tennis courts to pickleball.
Our church changed our basketball court, outdoor basketball court. I think they're going to go to a pickleball court instead of basketball.
We're going to be the Wimbledon of pickleball. We're going to have grass courts at Asbury.
You know, everything wants to
play on your grass field already.
It's interesting. Everything wants to skew younger.
Yeah.
But pickleball seems older.
Yeah.
I know it's
I don't know what the demo is.
It's for everyone now, but it did start out.
Well, I know my college-age daughter plays it.
Yeah, but it started for the seniors who couldn't play tennis anymore.
Right.
And they basically shrunk it down a little bit. Rockstar, give me cut one. After LT tells us about our friends at Michelson again, I want to go to the Joel Klatt show. Remember, he was on our show last week. He's rolling through a lot of the industry leaders in college coaching. Ryan Day, his most recent release. You'll hear a comment from Ryan Day after LT tells us about Michaels.
205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Again, I had the 20/20 vision. I was legally blind, went in, got the procedure done, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. I've got 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Make the call that I made. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Also ask about the pre-inflation pricing, 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
So Ryan Day is, position of power at Ohio State. They'll be number 1 or number 2 when the AP poll comes out. Joel Klatt asked him about Nick Saban's retirement and everything after that. Here's Ryan Day.
When Coach Saban retired and then came out with the comments that he did about what it was like trying to handle his team after the loss in the Rose Bowl, what were your thoughts?
I felt that pain because, I've gone through some of those similar things, and Coach Saban's past and history and what he's done is just unbelievable. Yeah. So to hear somebody that's been through all these different things in college football and these changes in college football, kind of recognize that as such a big challenge right now, it gives you some pause. It makes you really think. But I also am trying to really put perspective on it all, because I know it sounds a little deep, but the truth is, like, the order of the entire universe is chaos. And that's kind of the way life is. It's chaotic. And I know there's a lot of chaos right now in college football, but the product's never been better.
No.
And so I think it's a little bit of a tumultuous time right now, but if we can just kind of steady the boat a little bit and work through this, then we're going to come out the other end, and that's what we're looking to do.
Ryan Day there on the Joel Klatt Show, Big Noon Conversations. You can get that, new episodes every Monday there.
He's kind of a fascinating study, Ryan Day. If you gave him that set of downs against Georgia to do over again, they had Georgia on their heels. I think
aggressive.
If they just stay aggressive, they win that game.
Oh, I mean, I guarantee you he thinks about that every day.
Yeah, he should, Lance, because they win that game, and they likewise would have slaughtered TCU. That would not have been a game.
That was a great Georgia defense, but on that final possession, they went right down.
They were on their heels
until they got conservative.
Yeah, if you give him that set of downs over again, he 100% does it differently, and it could change the entire way you view that.
And I don't care what Georgia fans say. If Marvin Harrison doesn't leave that game, they don't win.
And again, likewise, they slaughter TCU.
Yeah.
Ohio State beats TCU, maybe not as badly as Georgia did. But
by the way, Michigan beats TCU the next 9 times.
Yeah,
9 out of 10
TCU
times.
thing I may never figure out in my life. But, but you view him totally differently just on that one set of downs. I mean, that shows you the razor's edge you live on as a college football coach. If he plays that set of downs differently and they make a field goal, they win a national championship. Ryan Day is viewed totally differently.
Mark Richt's different if he wins the 2012 SEC championship.
I agree. If something goes differently for them in that game, if
they were driving down at the end.
They were. Alabama was on their heels.
If Mike Gundy, as a 24-point favorite, doesn't lose to Iowa State on a Friday night,
they may beat LSU.
Yeah. They play LSU, and the way LSU played that night, and you got to give a lot of credit to Alabama and that defense. But even if they play for the national championship, I think perception is much different.
That's 2011, and who knows if Alabama ends up being what Alabama is.
It's just wild to see what a razor's edge these guys live on, like he's talking about there, because you view him as a national championship coach. Did Michigan win the championship? Sure, but Ohio State had just won it year before, so I mean that's how you view them.
That's right. Roman Harper coming up in 30 minutes. Real quickly, just a short thought on this, and then I want to ask you about SEC Media Days and the all-SEC vote that you'll have to cast. He says the product has never been better. You guys agree with that? The product has never been better for college football?
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like the conference realignments, but I do agree the television production, the games, and all that. I do think the actual games are better.
As we expand, to I remember back in the day when there was 26 Major League Baseball teams. I remember there was 28 NFL teams. And as we expand, people worried about diluting the product. And people can make the argument of pitching. Of course, batting averages are the lowest I think they've been since 1968 or something.
Did you see that stat yesterday? That it was popping up everywhere yesterday that Aaron Judge has faced a starting pitcher 4 times.
Yeah.
It was some crazy
Doesn't
stat.
bode well for the pitcher that he sees his 4th time around.
Yeah, but he's only done that 18 times in his career.
Because there's so many arms out there.
There's
now.
so many pitchers and teams and arms, and guys like Babe Ruth saw him like 118 times and enormous numbers that they'd see the same guys over and over.
Yeah, but
and over.
I was going to bring up dilution of the product, and I think when you look at the expansion of these conferences, and it's just the right teams. I mean, there's some bad teams coming in with some, but I think the conferences overall are better. I don't like it. I kind of like what we had, but I don't think I think the product's the best it has ever been right now.
But for the fan, I mean, when you consider it from the fan point of view, even as, I guess in my lifetime, we had a system that actively operated against number 1 playing number 2. Like they tried to prevent number 1 and number 2 play. They weren't to prevent it playing for the national championship. It made no sense whatsoever. And we had a system that was like, you can only be on TV twice.
Yeah.
These 2 games, you're going to be on TV and that's it. And now we get number 1, number 2 every year for the championship. And every single thing that happens is on TV. I don't miss anything on a college football Saturday.
And if
it couldn't be better.
ESPN Plus. If you want to watch teams that aren't on the non-streaming services, you go stream it at ESPN Plus. Okay, I think I know how you're going to go this. SEC Media vote for quarterback, first-team quarterback.
Carson Beck will win it. Yeah.
Carson Beck.
I think Quinn Ewers will be your runner-up.
But a lot of Texas media.
I think it'll be Quinn Ewers because, not because of that. I think most people believe he's the second-best quarterback.
Yeah, so Beck Ewers. Yep. Nobody will go Ewers. I mean, some people will, but you don't think enough to where Ewers is the first team?
I do think you'll get votes for Ewers. I think you'll get votes for unseen Nico, unseen Jackson Arnold.
You get some Jalen Milroe votes.
You'll get Jalen Milroe. You get Brady Cook. You'll get a lot of different votes, but the majority of the votes, Carson Beck, then Quinn Ewers.
I'm going to come back to running back, but a wide receiver, there's 2 on the all first team. Luther Burden will be 1. Who do you think the second one will be? I got some candidates here. Isaiah Bond got a lot of press leaving Alabama to Texas. Trey Harris, Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I don't know who else. Who else do you throw in there?
Squirrel White?
I think he disappeared a little too much last year.
I mean, so many guys, all those LSU guys graduated.
Yep.
Or left to go to the NFL.
Who's Georgia's big guy?
And they never have one. I mean, Ladd McConkey was maybe their best receiver last year, and he's gone.
The Jalil Farouk kid from Oklahoma, like their leading receiver, believe it or not, last year was Drake Stoops. He's gone. Yeah. But I think Farouk is a guy that will be a major weapon.
See, so it's so I don't know easy with Luther Burden. Who's second?
Yeah, it might be Bond just because, again, Texas media.
And that's a name people recognize,
that's
too.
right.
Yeah, it would have been Evan Stewart if he didn't leave A&M to go to Oregon.
And then there's the running back. And, we've a history of great running backs in the SEC. Who are your 2 running backs? You think Georgia and Trevor Etienne first, maybe.
Montrell Johnson.
From
maybe.
Florida, right?
Yeah.
How quickly do you get to Jarquez Hunter?
I mean, I think
Auburn?
pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty quick. I mean, that guy was top 6-7 in rush yards last year.
I mean, I think Jarquez will be in the conversation.
I think he will be. I don't think there's an obvious, you often looked at Alabama. You just started, who's Alabama's back? Who's Georgia's back? There's not an obvious choice at Alabama, so I don't think you go there, though, by the end of the year.
Even if you asked Alabama, Justice Haynes or Jam Miller.
That's right.
Which one do you go?
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
It is. And especially when you consider the fact that Quinshon Judkins would be easily on this list.
Yep.
Easily number 1, except
and
now he plays for Ohio
State. Other
really
good back was Cody Schrader, who is gone from Missouri.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough one, Jim.
Tough votes,
Those are 2 tough votes.
That's why I brought it up. And don't get me started on defense. So that's some of the fun we'll have in Dallas. Remember, our show goes in Dallas next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be live in Dallas at the Omni Hotel in Big D. Looking forward to that. And we'll have coverage all day long, some on tape, some live for you all day long. More details about that starting tomorrow, as we'll fill you in on some of the details there on that as we get ready for SEC Media Days. This hour brought to you by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com. We're back in a moment right here on TNR.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. Bentbrook.com. Bentbrook.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
De La Cruz of the Reds did it again last night. 2 more steals. He's got 45. And they put up a graphic with Ricky Henderson earlier, but he won't chase his record, right?
What was Ricky's single season?
But, I mean, Ellie does already have the Cincinnati Reds before the All-Star break record for stolen bases. And the Reds have had pretty good play. I mean, you remember back in the 70s how good that organization was.
Yeah, 138 is technically the record.
Yeah, he's at 45. But
that's old school.
With these new rules, limited throwovers and the bigger bases, which makes it a step shorter. Nobody else has 30.
Yeah.
And he's got 45.
Ricky had 130, so I don't think you'll ever see that chase down. You just don't. It's not the same game anymore, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's all about the long ball.
So what is he at right now?
45.
And they're more than halfway through.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be lucky to get 100.
Yeah, if you got 100, you'd be 20th all time.
Big number, yeah.
He used to run a lot more back in the day.
Ricky Henderson had 100 in a season, 108 in a season, 130 in a season. Ricky ran a lot.
Yeah. Always had the green light.
That's right.
Braves beat the Diamondbacks last night 5-4. Back at it tonight, 8:40. And on TBS, it's a great series. Dodgers and Phillies start today, 5:40 in the afternoon for the first pitch in that one on TBS. If you want to watch that show, being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus.
CPAP Plus. Ush was up here yesterday. He already went to see our friends at CPAP
How about
Plus.
that?
Did he tell you about that?
He did not.
Yeah, he said, look, man, I'm in the market. I've been thinking about doing it. I heard you guys talking about it, and it was time for me to go in. And that's the thing. A lot of people are buying their supplies online. Don't do that. First of all, you want to support locally, but you also want to know what you're getting into. Don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Come see the folks at CPAP Plus and see what you are buying. Visit any of their 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280. Now open and trustful for a free CPAP checkup and free filters. No appointment is needed. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel with mask and supplies in stock every day. If you need it today, guess what? They've got it today. They also have travel CPAP machines in stock with over 200 5-star reviews on Google. The folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves. So the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Sign up for their July giveaway for a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or come into one of those 3 convenient locations.
This is a mind-blowing number. I asked Brown, he missed it. How much revenue do you think the NFL created last year with their media rights, sponsorship, and royalties? Revenue last season. Brown missed it by a few.
I would say, so all revenue from media, television,
sponsorship, and
royalty. This is their TV contract.
TV and radio.
Streaming.
I will say that it was $2.3 billion.
I said $8 billion. And Dunaway said, you're short.
$13 billion is what the NFL generated. They're writing checks, $400 million checks to each franchise.
It's really what is so sad about the ex-NFL players. And Theismann had such a good attitude when he came on to talk about Notre Dame last week, or yes, we had one obligatory Notre Dame question.
Sure, right at the end.
But, he said, look, I don't hate these guys making this kind of money. And, I'm not one of those that said we built it for them. But with that kind of money, you should take care of the older NFL veteran that doesn't have health care. Like, I don't get that.
I'm with you 100%. Those are the guys that laid the foundation for
and back before you
money.
Protected players. Yeah. Like you watch Crunch Course. Every one of those every one of those hits in Crunch Course would have been targeting and and major fines.
I mean, $400 million for each franchise.
It's crazy. But that's another reason, I told you guys I was watching, if you've never seen the 1980 movie, Heaven Can Wait, it was nominated for the Big Five, or it won the Big Five, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Picture, Screenplay.
It won all of them?
It was either nominated or won all, because I think it went from 1980 all the way to 1990, from Heaven Can Wait to Silence of the Lambs. It did that again. Anyway, when I was watching it, the backstory. So he gets pulled out too early. Like they said, his reflexes would have taken over. He wouldn't have been killed. So Heaven pulls him too early because the guy's new on the job. So they got to find him a new body. And so he takes over the body of this billionaire, and he wants to try out with the Rams. And the only way he can get it is if he buys the team. Yeah. And so Leo goes and buys the team. And the former owner was like, I told him I'll take $67 million for it, and he gave me $67 million, and we're only worth $32 million. And so I was just thinking back in the day, if you could get the Rams, they were worth $19 million. Like, what kind of group could you get to put together $19 million for probably a $5 billion franchise right now?
You probably could find. You probably could find 20 friends here locally.
I could probably find
you could scare that up in Birmingham.
Friend, that might be able to do that. I mean, just for the return on it. Yeah. I mean, you could, mortgage out the Rams back in 1980. It's just crazy how the valuation has gone up. And most of those, I would say, of the 32, 25 plus are probably $5 billion.
Daniel says a few Baptist churches could buy a team. Daniel,
got to move the games off Sunday at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Saturday
night football.
MyBookie.ag chat room over there. It is time for Trash Every Day. It is brought to you by the wonderful folks at Mortgage Right. Rockstar, the big button, please.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
I had a chance to catch up with our friend Tanner Allen yesterday at Mortgage Right. Had a really, really good conversation with him. They want to, rates aren't great right now, but hopefully over the next couple of months, you see a little bit more of a drop. It is buying season, though, and our friends at Mortgage Right, here to help. They were veteran-founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website. That is mortgageright.com. Call their 280 office in Birmingham, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. So just weeks after Justin Timberlake was arrested for drunk driving, the pop star has been granted permission to begin the planning stages for opening a luxury sports bar.
Luxury sports bar.
And guess who it's with? Tiger Woods.
Tigre, the big cat.
Yeah, this is the news story. This is the picture the news story chose to go with.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell again, I'll say it. If my life plan is to never get arrested, but if I do, I want my mugshot to look like Justin Timberlake. That is not a bad mugshot. Tiger's is awful.
His eyes, you could flip coins in them.
He's a little bloodshot.
Look at Tiger. Tiger looks awful in his.
I mean, Tiger looks like he crawled out of that cave the Chilean miners were
I
in.
know.
But Timberlake, that ain't.
But for a mugshot, you tell me, Lance, we have done how many
first of all,
mugshots?
these guys shouldn't be in mugshots.
I don't disagree with you.
Now, and here's the big storyline on this.
But real quickly, if Tiger Woods looked like that, didn't have a hat on, looked like that in a bar trying to pick up a girl,
not a
claiming
chance.
he was Tiger Woods, she'd be like, "You're not
Get
Tiger
out of here.
Woods.
Get this guy away
Don't
from me."
lie to me. You're not Tiger Woods."
So anyway, this luxury sports bar is actually in Scotland now, as reported by the BBC. Timberlake and Tiger Woods will be teaming up to convert the new Picture House Cinema in St. Andrews into a bar called T Squared Social. Now, Timberlake and Woods are shareholders in the Nexus Luxury Collection, the real estate company that will transform the theater into an establishment offering sports simulators, duck pin bowling, and darts while retaining 2 cinema screens. Now, according to Woods, the idea came to him and Timberlake while they were playing golf at their other development in the Bahamas. Woods closely associated with St. Andrews, having won the championship in 2000 and 2005, and Timberlake has golfed there several times. You know, the question is, like, if you're a local bar or restaurant owner, you get a DUI, that liquor license becomes a massive problem. So I guess if you're just a one of the
if you're not
hands-off
in operations,
investors, I guess, I don't know how that works and overseas
Somebody
and all that
told
kind
them,
of
now,
stuff.
you guys know you can't run the day-to-day, and they're like, we're okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be slinging drinks behind the bar.
We had not planned on it, by the way.
That's right.
By the way, if Lance, you read Tyler and Little T wanted to open a bar, T Square would be a good name for a bar.
We've got a lot of Taylors and Tylers.
Rockstar, you're going to have to help me with this next one. Like, I didn't understand this. A Florida man is facing a felony robbery charge after he allegedly tried to withdraw 1 cent from a bank in Sumter County, Florida. Now, the incident.
Explain. He's crazy.
Yeah, well, you can see that. Those eyes don't lie.
I'm just a simple caveman.
The incident happened just before 2 p.m. on Saturday at Chase Bank. Now, a man later identified as Michael Fleming, you see right there, walked into a bank, filled out a withdrawal slip for 1 cent, handed it to the bank teller, according to the affidavit. Bank teller reportedly told Fleming he couldn't withdraw a penny. Fleming then told the bank teller, quote, "So you want me to say the other word," according to the arrest report.
What's the other word?
No other details about the conversation were revealed in the affidavit. Deputies said the bank teller was in fear of possible violence, so she called law enforcement. That's when the 41-year-old was arrested, where he remains on a $5,000 bond, and he has been charged with a felony, which makes no sense. Like, Tommy Spina rolls in there, that guy's out of there.
Is it his account?
I'm guessing.
Well, why can I not? If I want to withdraw a penny from my account, I know it's a pain in your butt, but I should be able to withdraw
I
it.
hate
It's
to
my
judge
money.
book by cover. He don't look like he's got a penny.
I would
doubt
agree
he's
with
got
you.
an account.
I don't think he has an account.
Well, I mean, I would agree with that, but that
he
seems
knows how
like
to do a withdrawal slip. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Give me 1 cent.
Okay, people are sharing their "I will die on this hill" fast food opinions, and they actually make some pretty good points. I agree with number one.
Okay.
Old school Pizza Hut from when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
remains just about the happiest restaurant experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Lunch buffet was phenomenal at Jack State. We used to go all the time.
It was great, man.
Yeah.
And with those big cups of Coke,
Oh, yeah.
the old man would get 1 pitcher of beer and drink it himself.
Yep.
Memories.
Picture of Cokes, by the way. You
Oh yeah,
get a
yeah,
picture
yeah.
of Coke.
Yeah. If everybody ordered a Coke, they
Yeah.
would bring that. Yeah.
And here is the eternal debate, and this kind of goes like to a Wendy's hamburger. Was it actually the quality of food better then, or was it just we have so many options and your
I don't
palate
know.
has changed so much? Because Pizza Hut pizza back in the day I
We
thought
have
was
more-
really good.
We have more regulations now.
Yeah.
Like there's quicker ways to do it. We can.
Well,
be more efficient.
it was a pizza buffet too when I went. I mean, that was the reason you went to Pizza Hut, was for
But
the
I
buffet.
do think our ingredients are a lot shittier, right?
Potentially.
I do believe so. Like when I was going through my leg pain, I'd look at drugs, and then I would get into a wormhole. Certain drugs that we give here, not allowed to be given in Europe.
No,
And
there are
then-
food
then-
dyes that you can't have in Europe
And
that
then
are
I
in
got
all
into
of our
the
stuff.
Yeah, then I got into the food wormhole, and some of the preservatives are illegal in Europe.
Yeah.
that we put in our food.
I mean, we are a fat country.
Yep.
I will tell you though, Elkhart, Kansas, when I lived there that summer, the only restaurant we had was Pizza Hut.
It was the only one we had a couple. It was the best place to go on a date in Alabaster for a while. Pizza Hut, and after football games.
Here is another I will die on this hill fast food opinion. McDonald's fries must be eaten within 5 minutes of purchase, or else they transform into sticks of despair. According to this, the only problem is that I agree, and it's kind of a balance, because if you eat it immediately, it will scald your mouth.
It will, but buddy, they are so good hot.
Yeah, there's
hot
a
and
sweet
salty.
spot. There's a sweet spot.
There
with it,
is,
yeah.
but you got to hustle through that sweet spot, because when they get cold, they are nothing.
Yep.
Now, according to this, Burger King, basically the fast food version of Russian roulette. If it's done well, it's the best there is. But if it's not, it's completely inedible. I haven't had Burger King in years and
I
years
have not
and years.
either.
You did, Brown. Last time we had it was SEC Media Days Atlanta.
That was the last time I had it. I remember we were on our way to a golf course. We couldn't really find anything. We scarfed that down, and that was a huge mistake.
It was a huge mistake for me. It's the first time in a long time that I have not been able to finish 18 holes.
Yeah.
I was in distress.
Well, we scarfed down Burger King and then went out at 100 degrees to play golf outside of Atlanta.
On a tougher course than I expected.
Tougher course than Jim expected. Good course, but tough course.
Yeah, around a lake.
Yep.
I'm
Sorry,
surprised the
it's a late
FDA.
lunch. Y'all still got them chicken fries.
That's what I was going to say. The FDA, how do they allow those? I
don't know.
I mean, what's in them?
It's just chicken nuggets looking like a stick.
Yeah, it's a long chicken nugget.
It's like a chicken finger.
pieces.
This one is true. 5 Guys cost about 4 times what it's actually worth.
It is now, by the way. I know no disparity against Five Guys. It's tough for everyone out there.
Burger
but,
and fries, $20.
Yeah.
It's a good burger, though. I think they've got a good burger.
It is, because I like the variety of condiments I can put on there.
The thing you got to do is just order one order of fries for the table, because they give you so many fries.
I'm
there for the fries.
The best way to do the burger is go to New York Butcher and they pre-make the ball for the smash burger.
Yeah.
I did them. Our buddy Michael Spisto happened to be over last night, was talking. He was raving how good the burger was. Dice up the onions.
He cooked it, or you cooked it?
I cooked it.
You cooked it?
Yeah.
And he was raving. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And finally,
Spisto did the volcano with the onions.
well, Spisto was working hard yesterday. He was doing a little painting.
There was a time you used to turn over all grill duties to your guests.
I would anytime they can have them.
Did you see
Step off that scaffolding and eat. Come on.
He's supposed to go ding, 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 woo, woo.
Everybody will agree with this one.
Hot fire.
High five.
Everybody's going to agree with this. Dipping fries into ketchup is the best way to do it. Pouring ketchup on the fries, abomination.
100%. Yep.
I used to do it that way, though.
That's the worst way to do it.
There was a place, Johnny Rockets, at the Summit, and we'd take little Harper up there, and she loved it. And I would do my fries like that at Johnny Rockets, because she liked them that way.
Okay, this is a weird story. Day started like any other day. Man woke up before the sun, made a massive bowl of yogurt with fresh blueberries, strawberries, granola, made it to work just in time to see the sun peek through the clouds. A few pictures were taken to capture this once-in-a-day opportunity. As he settled in his desk, he realized that he had beat everyone else to work. This made him feel a little warm inside. Day progressed like any other until handsome young fella surprised him by tapping him on the shoulder and handing him an envelope.
What is going on?
You just zoned out. Everybody's just zoned out.
Yeah, what in the world just
is
happened?
happening?
Did you just set up Dunaway?
Yeah. James Shooter Edward Dunaway Jr. III, formerly known as two-time Emmy Award-winning weatherman. What are we doing? Am I supposed to open this?
I guess
yeah.
is it an envelope?
Is this part of trash?
Yes.
It's something.
It's your walking papers.
Got a bunch of powder on it.
Uh-oh. What's it say?
Have I been subpoenaed?
That's how they do it these days.
Some random guy in a hat.
I'm glad I got my glasses on. You miss 100% of shots you don't take, but we're giving you 5 different places to try. Date July 10th, tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
7 a.m. departure. Attire provided by management.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is your bracket payoff is tomorrow?
Bail money is covered, they said. Unfortunately, we are not responsible for potential. Oh, it is not covered.
Oh, damn.
Not covered, yes.
Yeah.
That's a change. Yeah.
Again, the worst part of my SAT, ACTs was reading comprehension.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are not responsible for potential trespassing charges that may occur, but encourage you to locate bail bonds establishments local to the gym.
All right, do you have a plan?
I do have a plan.
Where are you going? You want to tell us? Is it going to be a surprise?
Would that not be illegal if I announce it?
Are you doing it during the show?
Yeah, we're leaving at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. So we can Zoom some of this during the show?
Yeah.
All right,
Who
fantastic.
is going with you?
I assume Taylor at least, and hopefully EG.
EG and Taylor?
Yeah, because
Okay.
this looks like an EG joint right here. Like she put this together.
Oh, 100% EG did that. Been working on that for weeks.
I have a plan to go Auburn first.
Okay, so we're going to start on the plains.
Yep. My plan is it legal for me to say my
I
plan?
really don't know
as long
because
as I don't call anybody?
you're not supposed to get help, but
yeah.
Are you okay with it, Lance? It's
with
kind of our
him talking this out right now?
Yeah, divulging his plan.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, go.
Roman Harper's coming up, but my plan is Auburn, Alabama State, Alabama, UAB Samford. That's my plan.
That's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, I did the math, and I was going Auburn to Georgia to Jack State and back. I was going up to, Alabama A&M, and
I don't think you can accomplish it unless there is help.
You're
well, I think I'm catching a break on a Wednesday. That if there are camps going on in, I just saw video last night of Auburn practicing.
Okay.
So that was their practice gym. Well, I don't know if that may have been the arena. So that's my biggest concern.
Yeah,
Are
that's
the
why
goals out?
I don't think this is going to work out unless behind the scenes there is help.
What is your...
So 7 a.m. departure, 9 a.m. at Auburn Arena. Drop a bucket there. I'm in my dream the other night when I was thinking about this. I was 5 for 5, and that was really impressed. I hit all 5 shots.
What is your plan? What's your sixth school in case one's closed? Jack State?
Jack State, North Alabama are in play.
Okay.
Yep.
It's going to be a long day.
That's a haul.
Yep. So technically I have until 7 a.m. the next
day
to do it.
Yes.
Pack some overnight clothes, ladies. We may have to keep going.
Separate rooms, of course.
Well, we can't sleep. We got to go find buckets. So there you go. If you happen to be listening at Alabama State.
You can't help.
All right. Well, that was a surprise. I was hoping everybody forgot it.
The best is you just zoning out during the
No,
story.
I had no clue. I saw Tyler coming.
He's self-admitted that he always zones out there.
Well, no. I was actually looking at the screen because usually things pop up.
Right.
And LT was setting up another story. He was doing such a good job of setting up a story. I didn't know. And then he
was. I had no clue what Tyler was doing.
He walked in behind me, and I thought I was about to have to read a trash story.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
That is.
Is that hard rain?
That
here
is
in
hard
Central
rain.
Alabama?
Dang, I got to load something in my car after this.
All right. Birmingham Southern shouldn't have a conflict. Yeah, but that's not. It's got to be D1.
Yeah,
it's
not even a school anymore.
It's not even D.
It's not even D anything.
All right. That's trash brought to you by Mortgage Right. Did you do that?
Yeah. Go see our friends at Mortgage Right, 280 location. It is buying season, whether you're making your final home or you're buying your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
And this hour brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. It's raining right now. Go into Champy's and have a great lunch. You'll thank me later. It is the best fried chicken you'll ever taste. Sterling and the crew, champyschicken.com. Back in a moment with Roman Harper.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries, to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Bryant Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Back with you on the next round. Roman Harper brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa today. Roman looks like he was in the gym for a second. A day spa would be a great trip after a workout in the gym, huh?
Yeah, stop by Birmingham's favorite day spa. You can stop by, see Stuart and his incredible staff located at Summit Shopping Center, is newly renovated, or you can just order that perfect gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, order online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
All right, it is our MyBookie.ag 40 and 40. We had 90 some odd voters. They picked Alabama, number 4 in the country. Former Alabama great, now SEC Network analyst Roman Harper joins us throughout the football season. And Harp is with us now, but he just froze. Harp was with us, but he froze. Oh, he's back. He's back. Hey, what's up, Harp? How are you?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Just finished working out, man. Just trying to stay right. You know, it's all good. You guys did see me in the gym. I just left the sauna after a workout, and just trying to stay spelt is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Alabama at number 4. You think that is a fair projection for the Crimson Tide this year?
I mean, it's fair. Where are Ole Miss, where is Texas, and where is Georgia? That would be mine.
We have not unveiled Texas and Georgia, but they are in the top 3. I can tell you that. Where did we have Ole Miss?
Ole Miss was 6.
6 was Ole Miss.
Okay. All right. Look, yes and no. I think that's pretty high for unproven team that's been collaborated together, but it's Alabama. So the expectations are already exceptionally high. And I do expect really, really good things from this team. Talking with Kalen DeBoer, he's dead on it. The things that are supposed to matter within a team, they matter to him. And I think he's really feeding that into this team. This team is really bought into the things that coach is trying to get them to see eye to eye on. And I really like the collaboration and the belief in collaboration from coach to player and from player to coach on this, where this program is at right now. And that, you know, without Coach Saban, who's such a heavy-handed, I didn't crash, guys, that's my phone, so, Coach Saban, who had such a heavy hand into the whole operations of everything, and to where now you got Kalen DeBoer, who seems to be willing to relent a little bit of the power to the players and the other coaches to really kind of give that power to other guys around him. I think it's been really good, and everybody's kind of taking on that pressure themselves.
You know, one of the big areas of concern would be that secondary. Now, you've got a veteran presence in Malachi Moore coming back, but overall, how big of a concern is that for you?
I have a little bit of concern with the whole defense as a whole, just because it's all such a brand new system. And until I see it all work together and everybody on the same page with live bullets too, not just walkthroughs, not just going against ourselves, or we're used to seeing same type of offense. But what is that going to look like? What is going to be our base third down call? What's going to be the look we're trying to give to, and, being I don't know if this is a flavor of the week type defense and what Coach Womack is going to be calling on that side. I'm really looking forward to it because I went back and did some film when he was at Indiana, when he was calling the plays, not just what he produced at South Alabama, but when he was at Indiana with Kalen DeBoer. So I like some of the things that they will be doing. It's going to look completely different than what Alabama, not completely, but a lot different than what Alabama did for so many years under Nick Saban. A little bit more off man-to-man coverage, a little bit more zone schemes and some different aspects, a lot more passing things off. They're just going to play things differently. And it doesn't matter about how many yards they give up, as long as they can force turnovers and be really good on third down and in the red zone. That's the way you have to play defense nowadays, especially in college, because the rules do not allow you to be, to shut teams out anymore. The rules just aren't in your favor. So it's all about third down, creating turnovers, and red zone defense. And that is what I'll be looking forward to seeing and how they execute.
Okay, this is a layman question. I did not play in the NFL level and win a Super Bowl like you did. But when you say the things you said, as a layman, I was led to believe that this would be a more player-friendly defense. I'm not going to use the word easier to understand, but a more player-friendly defense where Nick Saban, Kirby Smart's defense was very complicated. Is that a fair statement? This is more player-friendly, easier to understand?
No. The only player-friendly defense is the one where I'm making plays. So that's determined on the players, and can the coaches put these guys in position to make those plays. As far as the jargon, the checks, and all the other things that Nick Saban and Kirby Smart's defense likes to do, because they want to defend everything. They want to defend every blade of grass, which is what I was taught you're supposed to do in defense. I mean, they keep a yard mark for a reason. So, yes, it's easier. It's more simple. I think it has less concepts to it. I will say that. I do believe it will have less concepts to what Nick and Kirby's defense normally likes to do, where it's a lot of guys playing man-to-man coverage. It's a lot of jargon. It's a lot of communication going back and forth. If it's a motion, it changes to this. If it's a motion, it goes to that. So I think without those things, yes, it is a little bit, I'm not going to say player-friendly, because when I like player-friendly, that means I'm making plays.
Player-friendly is Roman making plays. All right, he is Roman Harper,
yes.
SEC Network analyst. We will see you in Dallas next week, right, Harp? You'll be out there.
Yeah, are you guys going to be there? You're going to have a whole office set up? I've seen you guys just advance year after year. First time we were outside in the hallways. Now you guys have your own rooms. You're giving away vodka. I mean, you guys are just blowing up.
We try, man. Yeah, we'll have our own room. I'll text you. I'll text you the location. You'll come by and spend some time with us.
Wait till you see what we're giving away this time.
Can I get one of those Robacks? I see it on the back logo back there. What's up with the Roback?
Yeah, we can get Harp hooked up with the Roback.
We actually are working on something.
Yeah.
That might have something to do with Roback.
Yeah. Do you have any Roback gear yet? Do you have any yet?
I do not. I don't have any Roback gear.
You'll love it. It is fantastic. They've got some.
It breathes great on the golf course on a really hot day. It breathes really well.
And
okay.
And their hoodie is the softest.
I always see my partner in crime, Cole Kubick. He's always rocking.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's sponsored.
Yeah, we get better stuff than Cole. We'll send it to you. Roback.com. Code TNR20 for 20% off your first order. Thank you, Harp. Safe travels. We'll see you out in Dallas.
All right, fellas. Yeah, I'll be good, man. Bye.
All right, buddy. Take care. And any of you, by the way, can use that code TNR20 to save 20% off your first order at Roback.com.
Roman and Cole Tuesday nights on the SEC Network when they did their show, I think.
I don't remember. It's been too long, Jim.
Yeah, it was
but I think you're right about that.
Just last year, but I know what you mean. It's off season gets long.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's Tuesday night on the SEC Network. Really good there. Roman is one of the best in the business, and we appreciate him being with us to talk a little Alabama there. Is there any Alabama thought before we move on that we did not get to today that you wanted to get to today when it comes to the Crimson Tide being number 4?
A couple of things that I wonder. How many SEC teams are going to be allowed in this field, and what is that number? Because I do think there's going to be, when he mentions the Ole Misses and the Missouris, I think there could be a lot of 9-3 teams, and I just wonder with that schedule if the committee appreciates, losing 3 games and still getting to a college football playoff.
Ben Hartstock this morning on SiriusXM, he asked me, did I think 5 SEC teams could get in? And I was like, I think 5 is a bridge too far for either conference, Big Ten or SEC, because, and I said this, I believe you just start with the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get 3 in. They're going to get 3 in. No matter what the season looked like.
That's 6 total,
The Big Ten and the SEC is going to get 3 in.
That's right.
They're automatic in 2 wild cards. And then, so there's 6. Big 12, ACC, and a group of 5. So now you're at 9.
We've got 3 spaces left.
3 other spaces.
For Notre Dame and those other 2 conferences.
Yeah. So Notre Dame could eat up one a lot. And then.
And I think they will.
I do too.
And I do think every other year, the SEC or the Big Ten will have 4. Sometimes both will have 4, depending on Notre Dame. I think 5 is going to be just a bridge too far.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. But I think 3 every year. And most years, 4 SEC, 4 Big Ten, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on that. There will be years where they both get 4. Yes.
Yes.
And it's going to.
And I think deservingly, Brown, because you look at the schedules you got to play compared to the others.
I don't disagree. It's going to feel like I'm only watching an SEC Big Ten championship at that point.
Until the ACC or Big 12, one of those teams makes noise, you have another Clemson situation. Florida State, they get better. If they're not winning games, then, that might determine what we see in the future of this. And, there's going to be a lot of fatigue with the Big Ten and the SEC, but if those are the best teams, and if this year in that 12-team playoff, the Big Ten and the SEC completely dominate, which they probably will.
Yeah.
But you're saying if Clemson gets in, or Miami or Florida State, it's good for them to win a game or 2.
Yeah,
because then they get a little street cred. So
well,
maybe
then you start
2.
saying the ACC. Clemson beat Miami in the regular season. Miami was able to win a game in the college football playoff. I think it does get them a little more credibility.
That's a great point. Because then Clemson comes into this with a little street cred.
Yep.
I think Florida State does a little bit from last year, though it's a completely different looking team. But if they back it up, you could get 2 ACC in this year.
And there's really, as good as Utah's been, there really isn't any credible teams right now in the Big 12.
But if Oklahoma State won it or Kansas State won it, and Utah was really good and just lost the Big 12 championship game, I think Utah's done enough recently that I would consider them.
Well, I will tell you this. If one of those 2 teams wins the Big 12 and they host I guess they get a bye.
Yeah, if they win the Big 12, they get a bye.
They get a bye.
Okay, well, the one team that doesn't, if 2 teams get in and you've got to go to Manhattan or you got to go to Salt Lake,
it's a tough spot.
Tough games.
I just wonder how often one of those teams will get in and host. It feels like if they get in, they're going to be like the 11 or 10 seed.
That they'll be traveling to an SEC or Big 10
That's going to be hard for the Big 12. When you think about it this way, the ACC or the Big 12 to ever even host a game. Because they're either going to be a top 4 seed or probably a low enough seed that they're going to have to travel.
Until we move the second round on campus.
That's right.
You're exactly right.
Yep. Or move it to 16.
That's the show today. Apparently, I'm not on the show tomorrow.
That's right. Well, you'll be on the show.
Yeah.
You'll just be shooting.
Yeah. So we'll
shoot.
I'll be paying off a bracket punishment tomorrow, and hopefully we get it done in one day. We don't have to circle back after SEC Media Days and try again.
Let's hope.
Yeah. I guess that'd be my plan. If it doesn't make it in one day, instead of trying to go overnight, because you're not going to get in campus overnight.
No.
I tried Nashville if I were you. Belmont, Lipscomb, Middle
just
Tennessee.
Take my
Vandy.
ball. Oh,
Yeah.
God, do we even have a basketball? God bless you. God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino